welcome to the Target Score Brampton post-game show. The Honey Badgers take an L, lose the home and home, swept by the Scarborough Shooting Stars 91-77 on this fine Monday afternoon. Hope you're enjoying your holiday. He's D-Ball Sarah in the middle. He's the founding father, Joey Slattery, on the outside. And fellas, I just got to do something really quick here, if you don't mind. I was just thinking of maybe celebrating something here, if you guys don't mind. Just drown the music out. Drown the music. Drown the music. Drown the music. Drown the music. Okay, I want to see everybody's dance moves on this. 21 season Scarborough, new single season CEBL record. Ready? P, you've done this a couple times, my man. Let's see it. Ready? Why is somebody dancing, man? Why is somebody dancing? It's history in our league.
You are the classic white boy in the club. Get him off.
Man, records make history and nobody celebrates. I kind of get why you're not celebrating. 21 season by the Scarborough Shooting Stars, the most ever in a single season. Of course, expanded to 24 games the last two seasons. But nobody cares about that right now, because in this game, we had one of the best Royal Rumbles that you will ever see in Canadian elite.
Matt, you missed a layup. It was SummerSlam this weekend. They extended it to 2 nights, but the CBL and the Scarborough Shooting Stars and the Honey Badgers said, you know what? We want 3 nights. And we saw it. Oh, man, what a fight.
Dude, that was crazy. I don't like, as we're watching it, it's kind of like sitting there thinking like, oh, just going to watch some afternoon hoops, enjoy my afternoon here. And man, and it wasn't even halftime.
Yeah.
That's the craziest part.
Yeah, that was ugly. For those that missed the game, with about 50 seconds left in the first half, Tegra Ize and Charles Bediako got caught up behind the play. Then things obviously escalated. There were 8 players ejected. Tegra Ize got a towel thrown over his head. I believe it was Turk Smith who then punched him or something. Frank Mitchell was in the mix. Tegra Ize responded with a hit of his own. Miles Powell was throwing a punch. Roddy Peters was getting in the mix as well. But to recap, Charles Bediako, Miles Powell, Ekoy Uat, Frank Mitchell, Turk Smith ejected for Scarborough, along with 2 staff members, I believe. And then for Brampton, Justin Hamilton, Tegra Ize, and Roddy Peters Jr. get the boot. So 8 players total, and then 2 staff members, if you count that. That's up to 10 bodies that were kicked out of this game. Yeah, I think we were all kind of shocked. We were all talking at the time of that. That was the most, like, I think normally we see these fights and it's like everybody's just bodying each other and shebangs playing in the background and everybody's like dapping each other up after. And it's like, but this was like, as soon as I saw Frank Mitchell come in with the double, like he was going for Canadian Player of the Year, 6th Man of the Year, and hardest hit of the year. And I think he probably clinched all 3.
Wow, that's it. Like the other thing too is like, as they kept saying on the broadcast, like there's going to be supplemental discipline, you imagine. And what a time. Like this is the last game of the year too. You know what I mean? Like it's not like you could say, oh, there's a 1-game suspension, everybody's back for the playoffs. Like this could alter the playoff situation immensely in ways like I just never would have anticipated.
And
Go ahead.
No, I'm gonna ask another question. So go.
It's just it's crazy, man. Like I just like from how like I love that we have the tape here right now. It just escalated, got bigger and bigger, and staff members got involved. And you joked about how a towel was thrown, like freaking Tigre got waterboarded to extent, right? Like it's absolutely insane at this time of year that these guys just cannot keep it together. And I know it's like the heat of the moment, but they all have to know at this point of the season, right? There are repercussions and potentially missing a game, and you get the 20 wins, but at what cost do you get it? And I mean, if you're Niagara and Coach Kimball McKenzie right now, like you've got to be absolutely salivating at the idea that you're going to get a disrupted, shorthanded team. Like it's definitely going to happen. If it doesn't, I mean, there's another conversation to have to be had about that. But man, what a way to end the season for Scarborough after clinching their 20th win of the season and getting themselves in the CBL history books.
Yeah, and that's the other thing that's kind of lost in all this.
Yeah, that's like a record that's just flush. That was my next question for you guys. Can we all agree, hands up on this one, if you do agree, that there should be suspensions out of this incident?
There's got to be.
Nice. Okay. So we saw, obviously, like, Joey, you said it earlier, too, like the Kyle Julius thing that happened earlier this year. Like, the league kind of said, hey, we're not standing for certain things. And this falls in that category of certain things. Julius got that 3-game sus earlier. And it's like something like this happening. Like this has to be at least a game.
What do you think?
I was gonna say, if that's a verbal confrontation, like what's a physical one, right? Like, you've already set the bar for what a verbal confrontation. Like, Joe, you were there. Like, were hands thrown, or even a threat of hands thrown during that altercation?
Which one? The one in Winnipeg?
One.
Yeah, I remember that. Like, there was just they were on the floor, and there was a player and the coach, and like the fan was trying to get at them. But I don't think there was any that I saw that there was any actually like punches thrown or landed. There was a bit of a shove, but that was about it. And that was just in tight quarters on the sidelines. So like nothing like this, not where you see someone like completely wind up and make contact in certain cases here too, right? So I mean, again, it's kind of a precedent setting for the league. I'm sure I haven't been around every game since the inception of the league, but I'm curious how many times this has happened and how it was handled in the past. But it's a tough one. I think, again, if this happened last game, even the easy thing was just, okay, like we're going to take all of these guys out. But the other thing you got to think about here too, like that's why I'm not so quick to say yes, because you also have to have 10 guys on your roster, guys to finish the game. So like, I don't know what the workaround is here. Like it like, again, the timing of this couldn't have been worse with it being the last game of the season, because there's no pad now for, to serve a game, or like, are they going to come up with a creative way where it's like, well, you're suspended the next regular season game? Like, I don't know. But there's got to be repercussions, and maybe they just say, you know what, we're just going to go with massive fines. But I don't know. Like, I honestly, I don't know what it's going to be. I just imagine so. I feel like if in most leagues there would be some sort of suspension, but this usually happens in a series, or like in the playoffs or the regular season. So it is a bit of a sticky situation that they have to find themselves through in a very short amount of time, because playoffs start Thursday. Like, they have tomorrow and Wednesday to figure it out and make an announcement.
Yeah.
Like, nothing about this is working in favor of, like there's nothing that you could work with. There's no favor of time. You just got to have to come out and let people know what your decision is.
It's crazy that every time I watch the review, I find, the replay of the play, I find something new. Like, it was so much happening at one time. It's crazy.
What's up, Cam? We got a Winnipegger on the stream.
Nice. Hey, nice. Yeah, we just actually stumbled
you,
upon this. We stumbled upon this by accident too. We didn't even know this was happening. We just kind of click links. I will say, like, the suspension thing, like, Joey, I would like to say I would agree with the regular season game thing, but the problem is everybody's on the 1-year contracts, right? So like, there are guys that could get suspended, and it's like, you're never going to serve that suspension. But this is where I'll kind of get critical of the league in a way. In the past, stuff has happened where, and whether it's altercations or things off the court, like guys not speaking to media or guys dodging certain things, and it's been it's been very casual, where it's like, oh, you know what, here's a slap on the wrist kind of thing. Like, this is the perfect opportunity. And again, for those that are new to the league, there's a new regime running the league this year. There are new bodies, new people in different positions. This is the time where it's kind of like, not like you need to take over and have your signature moment, but you need to kind of lay down the law here, because we've seen Scarborough do this like 3 or 4 times this season. Like, they've had a couple of run-ins with Ottawa already, and not run-ins where it's like, again, we're just going to bump shoulders and this and that. Like, we had fans, we had an in-arena host get ejected in Ottawa. Like, there are things going on that are like, it's just a rollover. It's almost like the momentum from one little scrum turns into a bigger one the next game. And then you end up with stuff like this, where 8 guys get kicked out, and you see the assistant coach on the left side of the screen there. Like, even they're going nuts. Like, that's just a recipe, and especially in their own arena too, it's a recipe for disaster.
It's been a strange year in that sense. Like, and I don't have stats to back this or anything, but like, I'd be curious to see just how many technicals and unsportsmanlikes were handed out in the second half of the season, even like the last third of the season. Because it feels like a lot. It just feels like there's been a lot of games where emotions are getting higher than normal. Like, even in the Winnipeg-Vancouver game, as much as there was a blowout, like, cooler heads prevailed in that one. And it was almost like, now I'm looking at it, like, it was almost weird that there was no major trash talking or shoving or, like, and those are rivals this year. Like, those are the top 2 teams in the West. There was a lot on the line there, but, there was, between both teams, like, even Vancouver, when they won, there was a little celebration, but then they were just off. Right. And Winnipeg walked off, shook hands. Like, no one was getting into a coach's, it was just like, and we saw what happened between Vancouver and Winnipeg the first time. Kyle Julius was back there, and everything was fine, right? Like in terms of it was a bad loss. It could have went the other way, but it's playoffs. No one's going to risk it. It's just like, all right, like, Winnipeg's okay. We got punched on the chin. We got to go regroup. And for Vancouver, it was more of okay, we got a great feeling going into the playoffs, but playoffs are next, right? This is crazy, but I guess also when you have a home and home, at the end of the season, like it carries over like a series. Like maybe that's something we got to look at too. Like maybe you just don't have as much as, maybe end the season with, with a rivalry game, but to do a home and home this late, maybe and again, I'm not blaming the scheduling for this. I never would have thought of this, but now seeing it playing out in action, like that's probably something I'd keep in mind next time I'm putting this together. Like, do I really want in conference, division rivals going 2 games back to back, this close to the season? I think there's caution there to maybe keep away from that moving forward. But nonetheless, like it's entertaining television. Like, you know what I mean? Like the emotions were there. On the silver lining of all this, you have dudes who care. Like, they bought in enough that they're willing to go fisticuffs for this. Like, there's certainly a part of this where I'm like, this isn't a novelty league, man. These guys aren't worried about their spring contracts or getting hurt, or sorry, not spring, sorry, fall contracts, winter contracts, and getting hurt for the winter season. Like, man, like those guys want it. Like, you know what I mean? But the thing is I think they might have got too far into it that they might miss out of it because they couldn't control the emotions.
The funny thing about all of this, and Matt, I mean, Joe, you might have a good chuckle over this, is Matt literally manifested this in our last game because he asked Frank and he asked Vernon about the idea of them being compared to the Bad Boy Pistons. And we all remember Malice in the Palace, right? Like it happened at the Pan Am Center. And, I think Matt will agree with me when I say this, but we saw the red flags pregame. We saw Frank walking by the Brampton shoot around and he was shit talking some of the guys. Trent was a big one. Him and Flowers just kept it seemed to be friendly, but like Frank was like purposely trying to poke the bear. Like you could tell that he was just trying to get under their skin, right? And then Powell's throughout the game, and then Terquavian during the game. And there was at one point where Terquavian had approached the Brampton bench, and it looked like there was going to be a scuffle there, and they got pulled up. So it was just like the recipe was all there for this to happen. So to see it happen didn't surprise me, but just this time of year, it's really crappy for both sides.
Yeah, no kidding. Go ahead, sorry.
I will take credit for that Bad Boy Pistons thing there. And I do think, talking to Frank, like Frank's face was kind of like, what are you going to ask me? And then I'm like, Bad Boy Pistons. And he was like, yeah, like we're the bad. And he said his exact words were, I own that. We own that beep. We own that shebang. Same start to the word that he used there with that word. But it was like, it was weird because it was almost like, not weird, but I think it's obvious that, like, again, this team has an image in the league. Like, they're the bad boy team. Like, they're good, they're competitive, they're fierce, they're in your face. And like, if someone comes at one of their players, they're not backing down. Dude, here's Charles Bediako, who is an important piece to this team, but he's not one of the stars. And he gets tangled up with a bench guy from Brampton, and these guys just want blood right away. Like, it's almost like they're just waiting for someone to just poke one of their guys, and then they're just ready to go. And that's good. Like, Joe, you peered it too, I think. Like, they care, right? Like, they care. They want to be there. Like, they want to be involved in what's going on. They want to be the first guy to, like, have their teammates back. And that's a good thing. But again, within reason. Like, Miles Powell already got suspended. Like what happens to him now? Powell got suspended already this year for a game for having 6 techs. Does this add on to that somehow? Like, I think the rule is if you get 2 more techs, you get 8, you get suspended for 2 games, I think is what I was told. But so how does that work now? Like, someone's going to have to file through all this paperwork and try to figure it out, because if you lost Miles Powell, any one of these guys, but all 3 of them, Powell, Smith, and Frank Mitchell, for a playoff game, like, D, you said it well too. If I'm Kimball McKenzie, if I'm Justin Mazzulla, I'm licking my lips at home thinking, man, like, we have the bet. Because again, for those of you that don't know, Niagara's playing Scarborough on Thursday in Scarborough, first round of playoffs, Eastern Conference semis, and Ottawa's playing Brampton. On Brampton's side, let's say Roddy Peters is not there. What would be a tough loss? Justin Hamilton this is just his 2nd game since July 16th. And then Tegra Eze has seen limited minutes. So you're not as much of a loss on the Brampton side. But for Scarborough, like this is the favorite team in the league to win the whole thing, and to lose your 3 biggest guys is like that's got to be a pretty big shot. And there's a likelihood that happens.
I think the big thing here too is we talked about it a little bit as well. I feel like every league has something like this. And when we talk about, this kind of transition into year 8, it's going to be like, yeah, like 2026, they were fighting in the hallways in halftime. Like, you know what I mean? Like part of me is like, this is going to be a great book someday. But I do think like that the big thing to me is, as a positive takeaway is, yep, they care. And I think those are the stories you hear. You hear about the old NBA, the ABA, the NHL, right? Like, there's no cameras back there. Well, I shouldn't say that. There's no like TV cameras is what I'm saying back there, right? So it's all kind of just like the legends of the rivalry and where it brewed over. And like, let's be fair, if Brampton and Scarborough can get in this rivalry, like from a marketing standpoint, this is huge, right? If you can get people in Brampton to care and people in Scarborough to care that like both those cities are going at one another, it's awesome. But on the same token, you can't sit there, like I shouldn't say, I wouldn't sit there and say, well, we'll just let this one slide because it's playoffs. Like, but then it's also that sense of like, where is the penalty? You can't just like penalize one person and not the other. And if there are shots thrown, like maybe that's the difference. Who threw one? Who got hit? Who was reacting? Who was initiating? It's a lot to go through. Like this video has been playing for how many minutes now? And this is like from the
still haven't got back to basketball action. It's crazy,
right?
Yeah,
and the one thing I'll say is like, thank goodness, like it ended there. It's a very small, intimate gym. It was packed, and I know people are very passionate when they're in that city too, right? In that market, Drake was there. Was another thing. So you have Drake in the stands, like cooler heads prevailed, man. Like in the grand scheme of things, like within the building. But on the floor, and I think that's the big one. If there's no one on the floor, there's no fans involved, like at least it's just basketball. Unlike the Kyle Julius thing, I think that's the biggest thing. With the Kyle Julius one, it was with a fan. And I think that's an important distinction, right? We had never seen that before, but this has been a strange year for things that have, really nothing to do with basketball. And we've also had a bunch of records this year that have been set and broken. There's a lot going on this year in the CBL. And, again, I'm not here to wax poetic on it, but like I say, like from a league standpoint, you certainly have to do something about it. From a marketing standpoint and just a league and passion standpoint, like you can't argue with it either. Like guys are taking this very seriously. They're taking it personal. And you have to find a way to balance that between, it raises the competition. It doesn't take them away from the competition. And that's what we saw tonight. Line was crossed. What's the penalty for that?
Yeah, and someone's ultimately gonna have to pay. Digo, you pay us first.
I was gonna say, I know there's no real winners in this situation, but Matt, we've been watching this Brampton team all year long, and Tigre Ize has played 5 minutes, if that, per game. He's barely touched the court, and what a weekend for him! He had career highs on Saturday, right? Like 14 points and 8 rebounds. It's so funny, just to give some people insight. Joey will know about this, but at halftime, we've got our handlers, and I mentioned this on the last broadcast, and they come to us a minute before the half to ask us who we want to interview, and I'm looking at the box score, and I'm like, is it going to be Tigre? Like he's leading the box score at this fact. And it's always nice to acknowledge some of the guys that don't really get a lot of run or not, typically don't get that shine at the end of the game. So I was like, oh, it's going to be Tigre. And, for him, he had his career best. He had his best as a professional here in the CBL on Saturday. And then he's in the middle of this scuffle. Like, unfortunately, he was one of the first guys to throw a punch, but, Brampton's been talking to Matt and I about how this team wants to get tougher and they need guys to really step up and, have some sense of pride in these games. And we finally got it, but unfortunately it came at the expense of the last game, and unfortunately might jeopardize their chances on Thursday.
It's a fine line between stepping up and stepping out. And I think today was a stepping out, and that's the problem sometimes. Like emotions get heated, and then, you have that message like that where it's like, I got to do something massive. I got to do something so big, to show that I'm a dog or that we've got that fight. They literally fight. And I don't. The thing is, too, the hard part is we don't have an angle where we see the start. You know what I mean? Like the way the camera pans, it's just like plays happening, then everybody starts running back, and the camera's like, oh shoot, like I better go back too. And they're just in a scrum, and then like everything kind of develops so quickly. So like that's the other thing. Like who's the instigator, right? There's levels to this stuff. It's not easy. It's like it's going to be a tough decision on the league, and they have to make a quick decision because of the situation here, right? Like the investigation has to be quick, and I don't know how that investigation goes, or what it entails. I'm sure there's from the like as we're watching here, players are walking out. I think this is just before the halftime break, but you'll see at halftime where they just sprint out. Like something was clearly happening. And, Bonomi had texted me saying like, what is happening? Like they ran off really weird. And then in the broadcast, because I was watching in delay trying to rewind something. And then, Rod Black, the play-by-play announcer, says like, oh, there must be something going on. I think it was either him or Deshaun, the color commentary. But someone kind of alludes to like, oh, this is probably something more than them just like hustling to the change room because they're, focused and want to stay out of trouble. So yeah, we'll see what comes out of that. But there's also stuff that we did not see. And they had a hit right at halftime about that, giving some details of things that happened. So there's a lot to go through here, man. And it's, where did I see this one? I'll bring it up. Niagara is the winner. To be fair, depending on how severe this is, some of the teams that may not have been considered favorites might have just shot up. Yeah.
And I mean, there we go. There he is. This is the funniest thing in the world, man. There are clips on Twitter already of like, I just pulled one up here a second ago. What is it? Rap.
Here, I think I can pull it up. 1 second.
Daily Rap Facts tweets this video. It's comedy, man. It's like there's a brawl going on, and then it just pans up and just like, you'll see in a sec if you can get it up, Joey. But it's just friggin' hilarious. The other thing too, that's kind of, oh, here we go. Like, look at this.
I can't
mayhem,
but
chaos, and then, oh, hey, by the way, Drake's here. And he's texting. He's probably posting an Insta story. He's doing whatever he wants. And then it just goes right back to some guy getting clocked on the court. Tegra's got a towel over his head. And Drake's just sitting there looking like he's posting an Instagram story.
But that's the other thing. Like how much, like phones are everywhere. How much phone videos out here? Like I haven't even looked at that yet.
Man, there are some good angles on Twitter already of like, of this, which is pretty interesting to see. And again, it's
I'm
cool
sure more's gonna pop up.
And like, and this is again like this, like social media. Thanks, Stack Guy Ty. We should have some handlers. Yeah, we got a harness for D, but he just refuses to wear it. Y'all, but Stack Guy Ty
D collar.
Yeah, the
Put
dollar.
some respect. Stop it.
Stack Guy Ty also had a good comment up here earlier. Where is it? Imagine if Scarborough allowed all players to regularly come from 2 different directions instead of Brampton, quote, trolling. Now, S did have that report where he said that they might have been trolling. Brampton wanted to come out of the same side of the hallway or whatever it was, or the change rooms as Scarborough in order to get to stir it up a little bit there. But I mean, again, for those that have been to this arena, it's literally a community center with a basketball arena in it. Like it's nice. I'm not ripping it. I mean, you could tell by what you watch. It's nice. It's cool. It's like Joey said, an intimate atmosphere. But I don't know if the layout would be that brawl friendly. Like I feel like if you're bound to run into someone in a hallway, an opposing player, it's going to be in this place. I know Niagara has that problem too. They come out of the same tunnel, and we've seen that in the past where stuff has happened, and it's like, oh my god, these guys now have to hold hands and walk down the tunnel together into the change room as they get ejected. Like that is just a recipe.
Have that too, right?
Yeah,
like they have the same.
Right.
They share the tunnel with the visiting team. Like so, this does happen in the pros. But I think, maybe it's just we've been too naive because it was the same thing. Like everybody was commenting on it too, and the thing happened in Winnipeg, right, with the fan on the floor, and the whole Kyle Julius thing. Like it took a while for security to be there. And I think a big part of that is just, at least in Winnipeg, like those security guards are used to work in hockey games where that's just not like, that doesn't come across, right? Like in terms of like, and I know that there was a memo of just kind of reminder of practices for stuff like that, but it's just, this hasn't happened. And I think what's happening are these people are like, these securities are just like, I didn't know, like we didn't have the right people in the right place because we've never had this happen before. So I think you might see some adjustments here too, where it's like, okay, now we've realized the hot spots, right? Where we're going to need somebody there just to kind of be a separation, even though, you know, in this case, I don't know if one person or two people would have helped, but it would have at least brought it back a little bit. But
Can
this
you
is the part here.
I
Sorry, I'm
apologize
gonna bring
if
this
this has already been brought up, but when Bobby Gate happened in Ottawa, that was against Scarborough as well, right?
Oh, hey! Don't say anything about that, D, because we got Elias Alzine coming on the podcast this week to preview the Ottawa Brampton, and I'm asking him about that, and I'm cooking something up, cooking a little something special up for that. So don't you worry.
Yeah,
But
that was against Scarborough as well. Like, it's crazy that you guys are talking about the history, and you know, Powell already getting kicked out for having too many
Here's the
technicals
run,
and whatnot.
sorry,
But it's just like, yeah, the trail's there. This is amazing. Like, yeah, they just ran. Poor S is trying to grab an interview.
Do you know what it
everyone's
feels like?
just darting off.
You know what that feels like?
What's that?
It feels like wrestling. Like someone just someone came in, interfered, they lost the match, and they're running in the background. So in my mind, I just feel like they ran behind the gorilla curtain, and now they're just like, "Oh man, that was awesome! Good job, guys." The other thing it reminded me of, if you guys have ever watched Semi Pro, the Will Ferrell movie, right? It's like,
oh wait, time out.
On national
Joey
TV.
gets to make a movie reference, but when I do it, it's friggin' sacrilegious, Bonomi.
Hey, you know what? We used to go to church together,
guest.
D. Joey and I used to go to church together. Father Pat and I.
Anyways,
literally,
continue with your awesome
growing
reference.
up was Father Pat. That's hilarious. That's so funny. Oh man. But I look at them, they're probably out there like, this was, because there are so many comments, like, so it's so funny. I always find on the Scarborough and Brampton broadcast, there's always like trolls of just like degenerate gamblers and like talking about fixed and all this other stuff. And I'm like, part of me is thinking of like, man, this is like the way they ran out of there feels like a fight, like a wrestling fight. Like they were all just doing it for fun. It really did hurt, but it wasn't fake. You know what I mean? Like it was predetermined.
I thought you were gonna say, I got two things. I thought you were gonna say the guys, like Scarborough guys running to the locker room there, they were like sprinting. I thought you were gonna meme it and say that was D running from a live chance to go live. And second, like we saw this last game, D. Like this,
and I love the
game,
replays. There were so many replays.
Oh my god, Dan Glavin.
Shout out to DG and the crew, because we didn't know if they would tiptoe around it and not play it because they don't want to get the league in trouble or, you know, make it a bigger thing than it actually was. But shout out to the broadcast crew, because they definitely gave us all the tea on that one.
Yeah, you could kind of feel this was going to happen though too. I think like the game we did the other night, D. I think that was on Saturday night in Brampton. When Scarborough was up double digits, like someone dunked the ball for Brampton and Turk like kicked it back through the bottom of the net. Mm-hmm. And it was kind of like the music's going in the arena. They're like joking on the bench. They had a couple of good offensive possessions. And it's like, okay, well, like, and Rod said this on the broadcast today, like there is a difference between being good and kind of being good under control and understanding that you need to win with kind of grace here and you can't be jacking around, especially when stuff like this happens. And now it's like, okay, well, you might have screwed yourself out of the first round of the playoffs, right? And that's, I think, been the biggest problem. Like, Joey, I want to ask you about this too, because Teddy Allen, again, obviously, we hope the best for Teddy based on the stuff that came out today in Winnipeg.
It's not even the craziest thing that happened today.
Yeah, all kinds of crappy, crazy stuff going on. But Teddy, for example, like Teddy has always had a little bit of difficulty controlling emotion, or there were times where he'd kind of go over the top and he'd get too fired up. And that's like Teddy being Teddy. Like you ask people around the league, and I've had people tell me when Teddy gets a tech, it's justified. No matter, we don't even know what he said, but it's probably justified because he talks smack. He's competitive. He's in your face. But Teddy's done a really good job this year, at least from an Ontario point of view, of controlling his emotions. It's almost like these guys now in Scarborough are like, oh, okay, we're just going to do whatever we want. We're going to say whatever we want. And no one's going to say anything about it. That's why I think we need to circle back to the idea of the league hammering them. But it's kind of like there's no real like lack of control there with some of these guys individually, not on Tyrell Vernon, but because Tyrell Vernon can coach them, but they have to ultimately dictate their own emotion at the end of the day. But it just seems like they lose control so quickly.
Well, it's, and I said this before, I don't know if it was on this podcast or one of ours, but the thing for me is they, where was I going with this? You were just talking about, sorry, I'm going through the comments. I'm
just laughing at Tyler Penner's comment. C doesn't run from the live hits, C does. Shout out to my guy, Tyler. Yeah, that one killed me.
Oh my gosh, what were we just talking about, Bonomi? You said something.
Teddy controlling emotions, Scarborough not really controlling emotions.
No, I said this before with Scarborough, like Tyrell Vernon. he's like such the opposite of the character of this team, right? Like he's so calm, he's cool, like he's well spoken, he's very calm in his interviews, right? Like and to be fair, his team's like always winning when they're in those interviews too, where he's like very confident.
It's crazy when you talk to him, you just be like, "How are you coaching this team?" It makes no sense.
No, I know
they would be screwed without him.
Well, that's it. And then, but this is a team that plays on its like the heart on his sleeve. Like, you know, they don't, and someone put that in the comments, I think it was Cam, but they play with their hearts on their sleeve. And when you do that, that's the danger. When emotions start boiling over, you're kind of like, well, you know, how do we rein it in? And I've always said, if a coach is calm, it does spread out. But if it might not even, like, honestly, if a coach is calm, a thing can still spill over. If they're not calm, it certainly will spill over, right? And I know like Calgary was really good at that last year.
I hate to interrupt you, but like to me, that's the difference between.
You do not hate it. That was a bold-faced lie. You couldn't have been more enjoyed.
No, I'll let you continue that. But like, I just don't want to lose this train of thought. Like, that's the difference between Ottawa and Scarborough for me, right? Like, Ottawa kind of gets in their own way with you know, the heated arguments and you know, some of that players in that team not being able to keep their emotions in check. Where is Scarborough does that, but they got a guy at the helm. And this is not me talking shit about Missoula. Like, this is his first time in the league, and maybe he's trying to figure out what he wants to be as a coach.
And how to be careful about talking about certain family.
I know your biases. Okay, I know you're. Yeah, I see the green behind you. But to me, like, that's.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I'm done.
So I didn't mean to. No, I'm being rude. Oh, I can't believe it. Mine literally. D, keep going, because what I'm going to say has nothing to do with anything. So you keep going. Now.
No, I mean it's nothing more than
Matt,
that.
How
but
are
like
you today?
No, D, we'll actually stop. Go ahead. You can finish it. D, go ahead, finish.
No, that's not my point. No, you can continue your point,
Joey.
But like, I'm just saying that's
the
difference.
I really appreciate you having us on, and right? It's pretty nice to. Okay, go ahead. Dave.
I can still get you in my mic.
For those watching, if you want to know.
All right, enough of that.
There we go. Okay, good. Thank you.
Jackass.
I can't hear you. Okay. Oh, you muted that at the right time, Joey. You got
right. I muted you, and the only word that came out was jackasses. Okay, we're spiraling, guys. We're spiraling.
Joey.
Okay, no.
If
D's done, I'm looking at our preview here. D, you said it before. You're like, D, I love you. You were saying like, oh, the Instagram looks way better. It really does. Is this like how it looks like? If someone's looking on Instagram, jump on YouTube and let us know, because I'm sitting here thinking like every time I put it on Instagram,
I took
it never
a
looks
screenshot
good.
Because like I'm like, oh, it looks way cleaner than it usually does. So shout out to whoever's producing this thing.
Awesome.
Nice.
Just goes to show D's always watching.
Yeah, I'm the nice guy here.
Can I try something, Joey?
I don't know if you muted me when I said this, but I'm like, if the folks watching want to know why I don't come on these lives, is because I can't handle the egos of these two jackasses, and that's where I ended the jackasses. So that's why. That's why I'm never here.
Man. How do you think, Joey? How do you think D would have done in that scrum today?
He would have just ran under everybody.
I would have put a towel over his head and just suckered him, I think.
I would have turned into the steel chair. People would have grabbed me and started hitting people.
You'd be better off giving him a kick. I don't know if you'd have to punch down.
Oh, okay. This has been so much fun, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Y'all can deal with these two jokers.
Oh, D.
Okay, wait. Let's go back to this playoff thing for a sec, because D, you said something that caught my attention before we started here. Joey and I had mentioned in the past that we are on the high horse with Ottawa, and Ottawa. Late roster changes, additions from the guys from Summer League that were coming back. We said Niagara, and there have been some comments here in the chat about Niagara having the easiest path now. Obviously, if you take out the stars for Scarborough, then you could have an easy argument there. But you said, D, before we got on here, Ottawa could have the easiest path now. Do you think that's still true?
I mean, it all depends on who we see on Thursday now, right? But we already know that Brampton struggles with bigs, right? And they've got Moore over there in Ottawa. And the last time they played Ottawa, you know, they were able to kind of sort of get their way in the paint. And then, I mean, Javonte, I mean, it just comes down to the defense. And if we're going to miss East, then it's a wrap. I'm saying it right now. Like, there's no way we beat that Ottawa team if Sean East is a part of this equation at all. We don't know.
That's what we're still trying to figure out, because East apparently was ejected, and then Rod corrected it, saying the officials made a mistake. he wasn't ejected. And then I said to Joey at one point, I think he's on the end of the bench in street clothes or like a warm up or something. And then he didn't come back on, but he was on the bench. But if all this stuff after the fact is coming out about like maybe he was involved, like what S was saying, like maybe he was involved.
Yeah, Stat Guy Ty coming up with a big one here. So he didn't get a DQ according to the box score.
Yeah.
But
so
the other
maybe
thing
the
too is,
extracurriculars.
Go ahead, D.
But I was just going to say, we are hearing from our sources that potentially he was involved with the hallway scuffle. Whether we know that's true and how much you can validate that is to be seen. But that's what we're talking about specifically.
But that's going to be like I said to Bonomi too, like part of me when the suspension, like when they said he was ejected, first off on camera, he looked genuinely stunned, right? Like him and Cam Flower, or was it
Roddy?
No, it's Trenton. Was it Flowers? No, who was it?
Roddy.
Was it? Oh yeah, Roddy Peters. Someone had the same reaction. They were just like, I thought it was Trenton Flowers. No, it was Trenton Flowers because he wasn't.
Yeah, it was Trent. He was in the. Yeah.
Anyway, regardless, they were all kind of like, what? Like Sean East? Like, so part of me was like, well, maybe it's just one of those suspensions where it's like, well, we're not going to leave the other star on the floor. This game means nothing, you know. And I think that might be the thinking. And this is just speculating. I have nothing on this, but my speculation is there's probably miscommunication. So he probably got undressed. And then it was probably like, well, I'm not getting dressed to go back and play. Like, you know, like, you know what? Just sit it out. Like, this game doesn't mean anything anyway. Like, all this is the only game this meant anything to is Scarborough to get the 20 wins, and they got it, right? So that's all it was. So I feel like I think it might have just been them taking the cautious route of just let's not let him get in any trouble because we can't lose Sean East. Like, so yeah, we'll see. I would highly doubt it if that's the case. But who knows? Like you say, right? Like then they came out with that report out of the halftime where they're saying like Sean East by name, you know, saying that there was stuff happening behind there. But again, this all comes down to how the league is going to shake it out. What resources and what video they have, what accounts, but this has to happen really fast. I will say this, their only silver lining in this is that it happened in the East and it happened in a city where everybody's like, what, an hour or less drive home. So like, it's not like they have to deal with like a team traveling across the country trying to figure this out while teams are on the plane. Like, you know, I would imagine they're probably working their sources right now to get the accounts from everybody in there, you know, writing it all down and then coming to a conclusion and you have to have it by Wednesday.
Yeah.
You can't leave it Thursday. Like you have tomorrow and it should be, you know, people are probably expecting some tomorrow. Like it has to be expedited. There's no time. Like this is the worst possible time.
It's funny because there's guys at the league office who are looking at this holiday Monday thinking they're going to have a glass of wine and just chill and prep for the first games on Thursday. And now they're just like, yep, we're going to be up the wee hours trying to figure out this whole situation to find out who's going to play and who's not. It's crazy.
Jamie Tan thought he had the day off. No, not so fast, James.
Yeah, this all happened on a holiday Monday too.
Yeah. It's
nothing good about that.
You can't script this stuff, man.
I will say, though, and again, I'm going to play a little bit of Brampton Devil's Advocate here.
God, I was like, I don't want to listen to another Drake song.
That's what I know.
Well, I can get that up if you want me to. You let me know. I will say shebang. I will say, in Brampton's case, if Sean doesn't get suspended, this is not as bad as it could have been.
Well, it's interesting because if Tegra is out and we get Moncrief instead, I mean, it's kind of a blessing in disguise.
And you saw Trenton Flowers. Let's not forget about that. He wasn't even in the lineup.
Flowers not in the mix.
I'm so glad he didn't play because he's got a whippiness to him and he was taking this shit personally and he definitely would have been involved with that. So that was a real blessing in disguise that he did not suit up today because he would have been right out there. Again,
yeah. I mean, assuming I have no idea, just because he wasn't dressed up doesn't mean there was no part of it, like in terms of what happened behind the scenes. But from what we see, it would look like should be good to go. I think Brampton's still in good shape. For me, it's Scarborough. Like, why you would take a chance on throwing it all away after all you've gone through this season, what you've accomplished in the regular season. I said from the start, you know, I know they were gunning for this record and they were very public about it, but like, it's not the championship. Like so many times the team finishes with the best record and doesn't win the championship. Like I thought there was this like ultra focus on this. And I think they were treating this like their championship almost, right? And then it got personal with Brampton, and you're thinking of this rivalry. And then it's like, well, I'm fighting for my teammates and, all this garbage. And then it's like, okay, well, you did what everybody wants to do, and now you won't get the ultimate goal after spending your entire summer here, building this unbelievable record of 20 wins, which is crazy to think because 2 years ago you only played 20 games, right? Like it's just wild to think that there's 20 wins in the season. And then you throw it all away potentially with your emotions getting in the way in a game that meant nothing. It was a full gym. And what I will say, I've not been there, but what I see on TV, it looks like a very intimate gym. It's like a large, small college or big high school gym, and I feel like sometimes you can get that high school energy, and high school energy is wild, man. Like for the people from Manitoba watching, and I'm sure a few of you have been to the Manitoba high school provincials, like it is wild, like, those atmospheres, and it gets intense even at the high school level. Now, when you have a bunch of men, right, and people wearing their jerseys and stuff like that, and you got Drake in the house, it just kind of blows up, and it blew over today.
Go ahead, D. Don't hold that breath. Go ahead.
I keep getting scathed every time I want to chime in. But just to add to your point, I was talking when we were talking to Tyrell before the game. I said, I'm going to address the elephant in the room. Should you win Coach of the Year? Because at this point, you have to be considered the front runner. What would it mean to you? And he said to me, if I don't win the championship, it means jack shit to me. Maybe 10, 12 years down the road when I can reflect on my career, I can celebrate it. But if we don't win the championship, it's a team award. And if we don't win that championship, I don't even want to talk about winning.
Sorry, that was Terrell Vernon?
Terrell Vernon, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he said that, right? So, yeah. Well, so it's funny that you bring that up.
No, and but here's the thing, I don't know, there's important decisions for those that have to make the votes for those awards. Tyrell Vernon is definitely in the conversation, and I don't know if this should affect that. This happened without him on the floor. I don't think he's sending guys out there to set a tone. If anything, I think he did a really good job at owning them in most of the time, because usually everything happened after the game. They walked the line, didn't really cross it. At least to this extent, because there have been times this year where we thought okay, even with Ottawa, man, I thought before this whole Brampton back-to-back, I thought Ottawa and them were going to be these major rivals, but they just make it personal with everybody. It's crazy. But I think there's a few coaches to think of in that realm. He's one of them. I think Isaiah Fox in the West is another guy. Yep. What he's done with the Mamba after an 0-4 start. Heck, if Calgary would have made the playoffs, Dave DeVera would have been in that as well after what he did, right? There's a lot of good coaches in this league. And, Rans Brempong, another guy, I don't think he's going to be in the conversation, but a great job for him. This is a really well-coached league, and he brought a team to 20 wins. Because we said the same thing with Miles Powell. How does that affect his MVP, right? Now that you go with this, you get suspended in the last game. Do you play in the playoffs? Yeah. I don't know, man. It's that's the thing. I think you got to strip away some of the extra nonsense and kind of focus on, set a microscope on the last game of the year, expand it and look at the entire season before we make these decisions. But yeah, it's just crazy because he's one of the calmest coaches we've had.
And it is weird too, or not weird, but it's interesting to think that there's so much that probably goes into these awards and how you vote. Rod said on the broadcast, when you vote for MVP, you have to consider leadership and the team's record and how this person is or who this person is as a human too. That kind of stuff gets factored in outside of stripping it down to the bare bones where it's just stats and this and that. Because if you look at Miles Powell now, and if I put Miles Powell's season in terms of leadership up against Teddy's, just in terms of general image in the league, a guy with 6 techs and who's in the middle of a thing throwing punches at the last game of the season. I don't know how many people that and again, it's no secret, everyone in this league does not watch every single game. I've voted for things in the past where I've seen awards and I'm well, I don't really watch a ton of, let's say, Team X.
That is
but I
false.
have to go back and
take away his vote. C-Bill, you heard it here. Take away his vote. He does not deserve the vote.
Do not throw everybody into one thing.
Unbelievable. You ungrateful.
All of us we don't watch everything. No, I'm just kidding. We do. But point being, it's tough if, let's say, you're in the West and you don't really watch a ton of Ontario CEBL. And then the only thing you really remember from the season is
The
like,
one time they were in
the
town.
fact that Miles Powell like got in a fight or this and that. We talked about it with Teddy. Like everybody's going to see the 54-point game and vote Teddy MVP. Well, strip it down. Teddy's having a better season this year than he did his MVP season. And what was that, 2023? Like,
the inaugural season.
He's having a better season now than he was back then. So like take away the big highlight moments where it's like, oh, this was the firework thing. Like if you take that away, like take away this little scrum here with Powell in the middle of it, he's still in the running for it. I mean, don't ask me who I'm going to vote for. But as much as it's like a character, this and that thing, and people might say, well, this took away from that. I don't think it takes away from much of it, to be honest.
You know what? It's such a what if. Sorry, Joey. it's such a what if. You know, Powell had 17 points in that first half. He was 40 seconds away from potentially finishing out this game and putting a cap on his season and making voters really, really contemplate whether they should vote for him and Teddy at this point. And by eliminating himself completely from the second half, really, really screwed him over. So that's got to be something he's kicking himself for.
Well, even like Teddy, like his last stretch has not been great. Mm-hmm. And, it's just funny how quickly things will turn where it's like, okay, Teddy's not, he hasn't played great the last couple of games. There goes his MVP chances. Like we saw it in the post-game, like online chat in our post-game show in Winnipeg. People are just so quick, like, like the rest of the season doesn't matter. He had like 2 or 3 bad games, right? And really like 1 bad game, like maybe 2 out of the 3. But it's like kind of eliminating that recency bias of just like what I've seen lately is the truth. Like, no, man, like the guy set record, like the record in a single game, the record for all season, and it's same with Miles Powell. Like he was a target score machine and a scoring machine. Like we can't just, it's unfortunate. But I hope on both sides of the coin, like we can look at it with like a fresh set of eyes, take the emotion out of it, take the, the extracurriculars out of it. Like this was a special year for the league. It was a weird year. And we'll have our wrap-up, our official wrap-up. This is just kind of like in the moment. It's been a weird year, but like it's been an incredible year from a talent scenario. What's that, Bill Simmons?
I said it's going to be a long 3-hour long podcast. That's
where were you when Jaylen Brown got traded?
Not getting a colonoscopy.
About that age. For those who don't know, Bill Simmons is a massive Celtics fan and was getting a colonoscopy while Jaylen, during the trade, he found out after his colonoscopy. That's where we're coming from. But
that guy Ty's asking for me to get fired, by the way, in the comments right now. Stat guy Ty, I don't have all the time in the world, my friend. I mean, we've got stuff to do.
I mean, I don't know about that.
We've got stuff to do, man. Games overlap. And when I have recommendations getting sent to me about TV shows and movies by D, I got to watch some things. I watch something other than every now and then.
Here, I got the thing queued up again here. Hold on.
Oh, that's
you guys
brutal.
keep talking.
It's not boba, it's matcha, just for the record.
That's awful. Don't know. You just outed yourself as a whole there. Just take. Yeah, D, can I grab your man card? Send it over.
What's wrong with matcha, man? Anyways, continue.
Yeah, you need water, man. You need water in your system. One of the things that I found interesting for Brampton too, these teams were basically down to like 6, 7 players by after all these ejections, right? Nice, Joey. And one of the things that I did like to see, at least that made me smile, was Danilo Judicic, 10 points. I think that's back-to-back double-digit point games for him. Bronson Chambers got in the game, scored his first CEBL points. He's a U Sports guy. And stuff like that, where it's like, man, there are things that you could smile about. Like Serta said halftime to S, it's about flushing it, moving on, and like trying to get the guys back on track now. Yeah. Hey, let's get everyone back on track. Hey, check this video, by the way. Everybody had a great time.
Come on, get off me, man.
Yeah, matcha yuck, man. Yeah.
Here you go. This is
you know what?
One.
But no, me like I love DD. Yeah. I love DD as much as the next guy, but like, man, that second half made me sick to my stomach. Like, I don't know if the guys were just trying to get through the game and trying to get it over with and move on, but like, there was so many opportunities for guys to kind of take advantage of that moment. I really thought, at least on the Brampton side, they would have riled up and kind of fought for, a little sense of pride and what happened. But God, it just turned into like an ugly all-star game, and guys are just hucking up threes. And like one guy who's just been extremely disappointing in this. I don't know if it's you want to call it the second half or the last quarter of the season is Cam Tyson. I thought like, man, hopefully he turns into a, what's the word I'm looking for? Like I just thought he really would have taken advantage of the opportunity, and with the short benches on both sides, like he just I don't know what's happened with him. He's just completely fallen off a cliff.
Yeah. I did see Rod mention, or I did hear him mention that he was 0 for 11 in the 2 games in Scarborough, or 0 for 11 against Scarborough. I think at some point, like, I don't know if that was including shots today and then the previous meeting in Scarborough earlier in the season, but he has struggled. And I asked Serta about this, I want to say maybe a week and a half ago. And he said, well, like, Cam is still Cam. Like, he's high spirits. He's ready to go. He's playing well. I do get that.
Credit. Yeah, that's definitely true.
Yeah, like, that's very tough. I mean, like, you watch him in practice and he's going and he's smiling and he's like, he's focused. He's doing his thing, this and that. And then the game the other day, he didn't even play. And I get it. It's for the American rule and whatever, the imports and this and that. But at
he went 2 for 14 from 3.
Like, yeah, like, at the same time, it's just not the same. Like, I don't care how much of it is, he needs runs and he needs chances and this, that. Like, he's just not hitting shots right now. And that's a big piece for them. And that's a guy that, like, again, they have a lot of stars on this team, but the key to their success to starting, what were they, 6-1, 5-1? I think they were 7 and maybe 7-1 at one point, but that was like a big piece of their success.
Sorry.
And it was like,
who do you want highlighted here? I'm going to see if I can highlight it.
Cam Tyson, if you don't mind.
There he is.
Yeah. So 3 of 19, 2 of 14 from 3, like 11 rebounds. Obviously that's,
but he had to rebound the basketball. They didn't have anybody left. Like,
and he's also not a rebound guy. Like, I would say if Cam Tyson has to get 11 rebounds, it's either because the whole team got ejected or he just wasn't hitting shots. And in this case, I think it's both of those. But 3 of 19, man, is like, it's not going to get anything. Like, I don't care what player it is, what team you're on, who's the coaches. Everybody will tell you that's not a good turnaround. And for him, it just sucks because he's played so well. He set a record for the league this season for most threes made for regular season and postseason. I believe that was before the playoffs even began, and I believe that was broken by TDM in Saskatoon. And I think he had 83s, which passed Cam Tyson 77. Yeah,
he has as many shots put up as his percentage.
Yeah, I've never even seen that before, but that's. That's tough, man. Like, yeah, it's just not the Cam Tyson that we're used to seeing. And again, unfortunately, that's one of the big pieces of the puzzle. As much as you may say, like, well, he came off the bench, or there are too many guys now. Like, the thing that I said to UD the other day is Cam Tyson struggles in my mind because he doesn't have a space on the floor when you have guys like Sean East, Trenton Flowers, and Roddy Peters out there. There's just not enough space. Like, Cam Tyson's thing is off the ball or off screen threes, or grabbing the ball, seeing a sliver of daylight, and then tossing up a 3. But if you had an aerial cam and watched him play, dude, he runs around the court. Like, if you tracked he's flying around. Energizer Bunny, trying to find an angle, trying to bump off somebody. Yeah, he's like, go, 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 go. And then all of a sudden, he'll grab the ball, nail 3. Well, now it's like, it's a little harder. He doesn't have as much time or space to kind of get these openings because you have 2 guys in Flowers and East that always want and, quite frankly, need the ball in their hands. Like Joe Rasso says it all the time. It's a failure of an offensive possession of Sean.
Let's get Joe Rasso in here right now.
Get him in here right now. I got him right beside me. Joe, do you want to come on here? Wait, I actually do have him right here. Let me get him in here. Joe, come on. Yeah.
Is he on the golf course?
He just sent me a voice note. This is hilarious. I'm going to send you this, guys. He just sent me this voice note. 21 season, baby. What it's all about.
So you'll mute me, but you won't mute him, eh, Joey? I see.
Celebrate history in this league, D. 3 for...
There you go.
What, man?
Sorry, he catches me off guard. You're predictable, D. You're predictable. You're so predictable. And Matt Bonomi just catches me off guard.
I'm trying to celebrate history here in the Canadian Elite Basketball League and a brawl that saw 8 guys almost meet in the parking lot at the Toronto Pan Am Center.
Well, we don't know if they haven't.
I don't know. Yeah, but that's the other thing too. These are on-site report. He's closest to. We might have to go check it out. But losing Cam Tyson and losing that space on the floor, I think, is the killer. And no matter how good of a shooter he is, that changes your mentality and your approach. And unfortunately, he's been on the bad side of that. The other thing is Moncrief. Moncrief not playing the last game. We said that we'd heard that he was out for a injury-related reason. Obviously, he's not playing today. I'm assuming that's probably to err on the side of caution, just in case he comes back in and gets hurt. And then it's like, oh my gosh, why did we play him in a game that means nothing? But once you get him back, that'll also help a little bit. But again, this is just like this game you can't use as a measuring stick because nobody played in the second half. But that game the other night, D, when I was down in the dumps there on the sidelines and was trying to get somewhere, and I had everybody barking at my tree about these guys don't know how to go live and Matt can't turn on his phone. Yeah, I can't do any of those. But that game was a measuring stick where it was kind of just like you saw how good the league is and how much further behind a lot of teams are, including Brampton. And that to me will be the latest thing that sticks in my mind going into the playoffs. That's still the measuring stick. So no matter how open Cam Smith or Cam Tyson can get this and that, it's just very hard to imagine anybody's going to beat Scarborough if they have that full healthy roster. If they don't, then all of a sudden the East has blown up into open season again.
This is the other crazy thing. I'm looking at the stats on Brampton, all except for Moncrief's on there, but he didn't play at all. But everybody on the roster played nuts. 13 minutes or more, 10 minutes or more, and Justin Hamilton was only a few seconds away from playing 10 minutes. Because Tigra was gone. So, but look, 20 minutes, 22, 20, 29, 15, 14, 35, 32, and then it's the same thing for Scarborough, right? Like 12, 31, 15, 10, 11, 28,
it's a
20.
Miracle nobody
look at
got
the
hurt
bench
during this
numbers.
game.
Kellen, there's Tynes off the bench at 28 minutes, 23 for Anthony Walker, 25 for Foster Jr. Like it's just, there's a lot of minutes going around because
do you think practice gets scrapped for both these teams tomorrow?
I honestly, you know what? I think I don't know if it's scrap, but you're definitely having a team meeting.
Walk through. Yeah.
Well, the other thing too is you got to
so they're going to Earl.
They have to have practice because if I'm Tyrell Vernon or Alex Serta, I'm getting all my depth guys out there to learn how to play as starters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because right now I don't know who I'm going to have. So it's probably going to be very important to take advantage of whatever practice time you have from here. And I think the bonus for both those teams, they're both at home. So you don't have to worry about travel this week. At least not until.
I got to ask you on the Scarborough side, seeing what Niagara did against a Calgary team that had nothing to play for, shorthanded Calgary team. I mean, you've already talking about, DeVero and, what he's capable of as a head coach. Like, do you really think they have that much of an advantage against the Scarborough team that might not have all their starters?
No.
Who's that?
No.
Sorry.
Niagara,
when they play Scarborough on Thursday. Because
here's what I'll say. Like, the whole reason why I brought that up is like Scarborough still went to work. Like, even though it was their depth, like when they were out there, they played. It was a little sloppy at first. It picked up a little bit in the fourth. But, those are guys that don't typically play. And to me, it's like, okay, they've got guys that can play. It's like Vancouver. Everybody wrote Vancouver off after the Julius suspension. Now they're first in the West, and they're the favorites to win the West. So,
yeah.
I wouldn't scratch out Scarborough because all you got to do is win one game, right? If you're Niagara, you're probably foaming at the mouth a little bit to get at them because you're like, hey, if they are shorthanded, like this is our opportunity. Like there's probably a boost in belief, but I wouldn't be quick to say like Niagara's going to roll them because if Scarborough just plays, if their bench guys play their best games or whoever they need, and they get through that one game, because the other thing too is like, again, this is all speculation, but I would imagine a playoff game carries more weight than a regular season game. Right. Mm-hmm. So if they're going to be suspended, 3 regular season games, is that just one playoff game because of the stakes of you might only be in the playoffs one game. So I don't know. So that's the other thing too, is like it'll all come down to how it all plays out. But if there are suspensions and those guys, have to play, if I'm, I was going to say Vic Razzo. If I'm Kimball McKenzie, like I'm just saying, if I am Tyrell Vernon, I'm just saying, give me all you got. Let them go out and, if you get us a win, we get our guys back, and then this will be the biggest redemption story. Like we overcame the adversity. But I think, like you guys know Kimball McKenzie, you guys are around Niagara enough. I mean, that team is built on championship culture. Like that's the one team where it's dangerous talking about their regular season record because they know you just got to get to the playoffs. They've been in every position, right, in the playoffs from top to bottom in terms of getting in. So this is a team that's not so worried about that. I think they do see the opportunity here, and they're probably just as eagerly awaiting, probably more so than anybody else, is what the it's going to be. Because you got to also understand that there might be guys they're not scouting for that they have been scouting for, right? Like they have a whole game plan around Miles Powell and Frank Mitchell and Turk, and now maybe it's shoot, none of those guys are there. Like, what is Scarborough going to come at us with, right? Like, there's also a little bit of that part of the game. You got to be prepared for whatever comes the other way. So, this is funny. Ty, Stack Guy Ty, Vancouver?
That's amazing.
No,
Get Wiggins in here. Where's Wiggins?
I mean, I'm just looking at the last matchup where Niagara was in Scarborough, and Miles Powell only scored 8 points in that game, and they're still able to win that basketball game. But I'm sure there's a lot of people looking at the situation and just saying, okay, well, this is made for Niagara to win this basketball game. But they're a team that's 4-8 on the road, and they've lost, they've gone 1-4 in their last 5. And I don't know. It's just like, there's nothing about this Niagara team that makes me extremely confident to be able to take advantage of a situation like that.
The only thing that I would sit back and think about is Khalil Ahmad. Khalil Ahmad, and again, I think we can all agree on this. Khalil Ahmad has looked a little different this year. I mean, the Niagara roster also looks totally different. Like they lost Mayula, I think, at the beginning of the season, which was hilarious. I mean, in the sense that the way it happened, he broke his jaw, I believe, and then he got called for a flop on the play, which is common.
Yes.
Like he got called on a flop and he broke his jaw. Like how do you how is that? I don't know who's officiating that game, but how in the world do you somehow call that a flop when Buddy breaks his jaw? But that killed their inside game right away.
Matt does watch other games, just for the record.
Yeah. Like it's that guy Ty. Take that comment, put it where. Put it in the bottom of the standings, my friend. Low hanging fruit. But basically, like their inside game is a little dicey. I mean, they do have some vet guys, but outside of Khalil, like Vinales is solid. But we saw them on this road trip. We watched both of those games. You and I watched them together. Joey was tuning in against Saskatoon and Calgary, and they didn't look good. Like their decision making, like it just looked like kind of like a disgruntled team where it was like, just get us to the playoffs. We'll try to figure it out from there. But that's the name of their game. Like they'd won the East the last 3 seasons, obviously back-to-back champs in 2024 and 25. But their name of the game is getting to the playoffs. Like as long as they get there, Khalil Ahmad turns into a different beast. And he torched Scarborough last year's playoffs for 29 and eliminated them in that 93-91
Correct
game.
me if I'm wrong. I don't believe he has an MVP, does he? Does he have he has a playoff MVP, but does Khalil Ahmad have an MVP?
I think he has one.
He does.
Does he have one?
Yeah.
Okay, because in the last few years, like he's never in the conversation. Because did he get the one, or was it Cat Barber? Who got the one in 2024?
He had it in 2022.
Okay, so the year before.
Moon first 3, Ahmad, Teddy, Moore, Creek.
Moore, that's it, Tajay. Yeah, so like that's the other thing too, is like, the one season, but like I would say in the last few years, like he's not been a dominating part of that conversation. But then when the playoffs come around, he's the MVP when they win, right? Like, you know, the killer, like the Lion King, whatever. I'm just going to call him the Lion Killer, but that's
I didn't hear that today.
But that's the thing. I think when you have those guys, you've got like Elijah Lufile, TJ Law, like guys that have been part of that culture. And Kibble McKenzie was the captain before, right? Now he's just in a different role. And I think there's even more, more influence now with him as a coach. So I wouldn't count out Niagara. And like I said this before, not knowing this, but I was more prepared for an Ottawa Niagara conference final than I am a Saskatoon Edmonton. But now it's like funny because depending on how this rolls out, like you might see a flip. Like you might actually see Niagara and Ottawa be the favorites in these games, depending on what rosters are being put out. Which
is absolutely insane. Ahmad. Oh, there we go. Ribeiro Bowl. We got a final there.
Saskatoon won the Ribeiro Bowl. Nice.
Saskatoon 96-80 final to clinch 4 teams finishing above 500. So that's over Calgary.
Wow.
Dang, that's good. The Ahmad stuff, I think, is perfectly set up now. 2-time finals MVP, 2-time champ. Comes to life in the postseason. And again, Rod said that too. Like he is a killer against this Shooting Stars team. So I don't know how eager I would be to want to play Niagara. But like we've said with Ottawa, like Ottawa's a bunch of athletes, man. And
I'm worried about both those teams, man. Like I've been saying it from the get-go. Like Scarborough has been a team, and like tonight, I think it just kind of validates what I was thinking initially. Is I think they're primed for an upset. They're too emotional. They were too focused on this record, and they haven't seen a ton of adversity, right? And now they might be going through the craziest adversity that like no team should ever go through or put themselves through at this point of the season. And then with Brampton, it's just been so inconsistent down the stretch. That whole second half of the season, like it's just been like the fact that they're in second is wild. Like they scratch and clawed their way there, and I commend them for that because they had to get the wins where they need them, and they played in some tough places like Winnipeg, right, on national TV to get them. But in the East, like I know Ottawa lost the last 4 games before winning last night to clinch, but they've clinched. Like that 4 games is gone. Like now they're thinking like this is who we are, and they have so many weapons and they're so explosive. But I understand that Winnipeg beat them, but Winnipeg, played a great game too. They had the fans behind them. Javante Smart still had 39 points or whatever it was. Like that's what it's just craziness out in Ottawa. And they have too many athletes and too good of rim protection. If Ottawa, because they have a little Scarborough in them in the sense that sometimes the emotions go a little bit, right? And they've got a coach like Missoula who's the opposite. He's pretty stoic for the most part when you're watching him on the sideline. So this is a team, if they can keep their emotions in check and get to their systems and get back on defense, like it could be a scary team to play in the playoffs. I still really like Ottawa in the East.
Scarborough has 4 losses. Ottawa's responsible for 2 of them, right? It's there.
Yeah.
But Miles Powell didn't play in both those games. So if he doesn't, which is even more interesting, because if he doesn't play, if he somehow, let's say the league drops 2-game suspension on these guys and they move on past Niagara in the first round and then he can't play second round, then I'd be like, okay, the 2 losses against this team without Miles, or maybe he's not with them. Again, that's pure speculation and me just guessing here.
I'm saying it right now. The league's not handing out more than a league suspension or a game suspension. I don't even
think there's going to be a suspension.
You don't think at all?
Suspension. No,
Joey, what do you think?
I think there should be at least 1 game. Because again, like no one was injured, but it took a long time to get it settled. And then it's the spillover. I think if it was what we saw on TV, I'd say 1 game. But it's the spillover and the lack of what we know. So it's hard for me to go in and say what I am sure of is there will be fines, right? Like we've seen fines.
Should that be disclosed?
I would like to see it
for this situation, especially.
I would like to see it at least disclose that fines were put. Whether you tell me how much those fines are, like I don't really care. But I think I'd like to know that if there was a penalty awarded for sure, whether that's suspension or fines, and putting a statement out, because a lot of people did see this, and I think it warrants it. Like this is it happened. You can't look away from it, and this is general practice in most leagues, right? If there's a suspension or if there's inactives, like it is announced. I saw all the gamblers on there today. Like, they're going to want to know if someone's in or out. And I'm not condoning gambling. I'm not a gambling guy. Unlike D, I'm not a degenerate. Degenerate. Anyway,
Matt's just as bad as I am. Don't
that's why.
No.
Number 1, I don't gamble on anything. Number 2, I'm never associated with you in any
They
matter.
call it Bomoney, not Bonomi. Bomoney.
No, that's a terrible name. That is a terrible. If you ever called that on a broadcast, this is what you would hear. Swinging and me not talking for the rest of the game. I think Joey, what you're saying is right too. Like I think they need to show everything. Like this is like watching the trailer. Like we saw the trailer, which was the brawl, and now we're just not going to see the movie if they don't tell us what happened after this. That's been my one gripe with this league forever. Is as much as I love it, there needs to be more transparency. Like we need to be able to see who is getting fined, who is on a roster, why someone's not playing one night. Like it shouldn't be like, oh, well, and there's certain teams that do this, and these teams know who they are. Oh, well, this guy's not playing tonight. Well, maybe he is playing, maybe he's not. And then the next day it's like, well, why didn't he play? Oh, we don't know. It's like, dude, could you imagine if you paid to go take your kids to a game to watch?
Or if you built a parlay,
let's say,
not knowing.
Let's just, yeah, that too. If you took your kids to a game to watch, let's say Sean East, and I'm not saying Brampton does this because they don't. We've seen this the whole season. If you took your kid to a game to watch Sean East and you spent money, bought a ticket, this and that, and then an hour before the game or 20 minutes before the game, it was just like, we're not telling anyone, he's just not going to play for whatever reason. Teams do this. And again, apparently it's not against the rules. It doesn't need to be disclosed why they're not playing. But that to me is like the fine stuff. Put it out there. It doesn't hurt like it hurts other teams because if they're scouting whatever, but it only hurts the league's reputation and fans that want to watch too. Because I don't want I don't want questions with what's going. Like I don't want to have to asking questions as a fan. Like why? Like what ended up happening about this? Like what happens if all these guys end up missing a game or 3 games and then they just don't say anything about it?
I'll add a layer to this. From a coverage standpoint, like the CBL has struggled to get coverage, and this is a storyline. Like, you know what I mean? Like, in Winnipeg, we see it. Like, you know, we've got great coverage out here between the newspapers and the TV stations, depending on what the story is or the time of season. But, you know, these are the things that, you know, I hear journalists get frustrated with because this is just part of the story. You know, they're covering the CFL, they're covering the NHL. Like, these are things that are just automatic. And then it's like, where do I find this? And it's like, oh, it's not available. And I think that's the other part where it's like put it out there that this happened, that there were fines, and then let them have this story. Like in terms of, and I think it's that sense of the control. Like in terms, you don't want we don't want to be known as the fighting league. Well, exactly. Like this is it. There was fighting, and we took care of it, right? I don't know if it happens this year, but I do think it's something that, you know, moving forward, the protocol of that stuff, like, it has to be accommodating to people that want to cover it, or at least entice them to cover it. If there's no resources, no avenue, it's hard to get that coverage. But, you know, I agree with you, Matt. Like, it's to have that out there. It serves so many purposes of just the integrity of the game, right? And people want to cover the integrity of it, right? Like if there's integrity in the league, and, you know, you've got that fan base, and these players are truly important. Like fans need to know, right? They're like, as you say, they're investing money to go. Like, let's put it this way: if Xavier Moon got involved in a scuffle in Vancouver, and people come to that playoff game in Winnipeg, not knowing, first off, the Sea Bears DMs would be lit, CBL's probably too. Mine would certainly be like, where's Xavier? Is he playing? And people are paying premium money now to go watch a playoff game. And they probably want to know if they're going to see one of their favorite players, right? Like you can't hide from it. But it's like it doesn't matter if it's your best player or your worst player. Like, I think if something happens in a game, especially like this is like, it wasn't the Malice at the Palace, but it was a bench brawl. You don't see bench brawls in basketball, and this is going to start floating around on social media, and it already has. Like, Matt, you're already in the middle of this broadcast, you've sent it out. So I think you get ahead of it and you just say, hey, this, and it's just common practice with leagues. Like I've been in sports journalism for close to 2 decades coming up on now. And I've been, you know, that's NHL, that's CFL, and, you know, going back to my early days, even golf, like, you know what I mean? But like all of these leagues do that. And it's just a little weird here. And you're like, are they? And even from like when you're trying to prep for your games and stuff like that, and storylines for journalists or play-by-play or the sideline reporters, like you need to have an idea of like, well, who's going to be here and who's not, like before I invest too much time into a thing that might not actually happen. And then just eliminate the questions, have people focus on the basketball, because this might that's the other thing I don't want. I don't want this to overtake the playoffs. We've got a great playoff setup coming up this year.
And here's the other thing. When I look at things that have happened in this league, like, again, I'm going to use the Julius thing as an example, not because of what actually happened, but because of the buzz that was created around it. You could look at it 2 ways. You could have that whole thing happen. Nobody posts anything about it. Kyle's gone. Nobody knows why. People get upset. They're questioning this and that. The important thing to understand is everybody has an opinion, especially in sports. Doesn't matter if you're in some small town of 200 or you're living in Toronto with 3 million people and D, unfortunately. But everybody has an opinion. Don't choke on your matcha now.
Matcha man.
If you took an instance like that Julius thing and post about it, then people at least understand why, and they're still able to express their opinion. So it's buzz. I'm not saying capitalize on negative things that happen, but I'll tell you this right now.
But it's not negative. Like here's the thing. That's the connotation. In news, you're told to say nothing is negative and nothing is positive.
It's news.
Right? You're putting it out there and people can draw their own conclusions. To your point, have their opinions. Like if this were the NBL in Australia, they probably would have had this posted all over their socials and ask you, who do you think is in the, you know what I mean? Like some leagues league into it maybe too much, but there's those things where it's like it creates the conversation, right? And when you're in the conversation and you're watching the highlights, whether it be on social media, getting in the comments, and then you're going to watch the game after, you don't want to miss these live kind of thing, right? But it does bring viewership. Like it's like sometimes it's the contention that draws eyeballs and that draws interest and draws engagement, right? And basketball provides that naturally, but you can't. Yeah, you have to be transparent with those things and just let the game take care of itself and not guard the message too much. Like when it happens on the floor, off the floor, different story, but like on the floor, people can watch and go to YouTube or CBC or whatever. Like that's like the PWHL would do it, the WNBA would do it, and I think the CBL is that league. Like this isn't a rink-a-dink league. We have the Winnipeg Gold Ice here, an independent pro baseball team. Like they would have that. They would announce if a player got suspended after something like this, and the American Association that they play in would do it. Like it's a professional league. There's a professional standard, and I think for sure that this is something that definitely falls under it, just based on how where it all unfolded, which was on the floor and in the facility where people would have seen it.
Yeah, you can't hide from the news part of it, and that's the thing that is really aggravating. Again, like you just nailed that on the head. Like it is so aggravating because it's like D, you and I talked about this the other day. There are rivalries in this league that we have never had before, and not only are they present now, but they're at an all-time high. Like you have two teams here that are in Ontario, Brampton and Scarborough, that clearly don't like each other. You have two other teams another team in Ontario, in Ottawa, that really doesn't like Scarborough. If I'm the league, and again, I'm not telling people how to do their jobs. That's not the case. But from our perspective, when we talk about this stuff on the broadcast, I'm throwing a break and I'm like, two teams that don't like each other, beef in the past. Let's see if they cook up another patty today. Like some stupid, like not that, but you know what I mean? Like some sort of like, and I'm thinking like, I would be all over this, man. I would be posting the highlights of these guys going at it. And I would say, oh, well, obviously not like a thing promoting it, but people want to see. Things get feisty. Like then you see these basketball pages, like I just said on Twitter, posting this and they're getting engagement, interaction, this and that. And that's part of it. It's not like you need to hide from that. The best leagues in the world post that stuff. And that's the thing that really bothers me. I think there's too much of a squeaky clean image at times, especially around guys where you're building their careers. Like obviously you don't want to have certain things on there. I get that. But in this case where it's something like you said, Joey, everybody saw, everybody's going to see. If it's out there, then
I just
why
put
you
Scarborough on Instagram. And everything that pops up is the fight, like the first 3 videos.
Yeah, Twitter too.
Bro,
it's
I literally just put Scarborough in Twitter, like on the search bar, and the fight clips are all over. Like it's Drake and the fights. Like it's like people want to talk about it.
Man.
I when I did my game in Scarborough, I interviewed Jermaine Anderson at one point during the game, and I said, the league has been clamoring for this rivalry between Brampton and Scarborough, right? There's so much history, and he just talked about him growing up and the high school scene and the prep scene, and how it was always Brampton and Scarborough guys coming up, and it's just like, yeah, we really need to lean into this, and it's great that we've gotten to a time where both teams are good now. And so to your point, like I'm all about promos, and if these two teams should meet in the East Finals, like somebody better capitalize and throw a little bit of the scuffle in the tape, because that'll get everybody fired up.
Dude, yeah, and the other thing too, it's the awareness of the league. Like if it's there, it's like, oh, for some people it's as simple as like, oh, I didn't even realize Brampton had a basketball team or Scarborough had a basketball team. What is this CEBL? Like what level is it, right? And it gets you to Google. It's like, oh shoot, I didn't realize it's like high level pro ball. Like, man, when's the next game? I'm gonna go check it out, right? Like, but I agree with you, and like to the point of like promo for sure, like to show the whole thing, but like you show shots of that where just like, this is how much these guys care. This is professional. It's not high school, right? Even universities certain ones will be a little edgier with what they're putting out there, but like at the end of the day, like it's like there's nothing here. Like even with this happens in family leagues. You see it in the NHL where fighting is just straight up allowed, right? You see it in baseball. You've seen it in the NBA. Like this stuff happens from time to time. It is what it is, but then there's penalties, so that won't happen all the time, right? Like what is keeping people from doing that? And it holds the league accountable as well in that sense too, for their penalties and things like that. So yes, it's publicity, and it is marketable. I think this showed like just how much these guys care, and if they went head to head, it should be at least a clip of this. Like these teams don't like each other. You want to come and see competition at its fiercest and highest level? Come out to the CAA Center or Pan Am Center and watch these teams go at it. Like they hate each other, and you're going to love this game.
Mm-hmm. Sold. That would be the first thing in the world where I learned how to pull up comments there too, Joey. I hope that's okay. I didn't overstep there. All publicity is good publicity. I'm like, Joey's going to get mad at this. But That's the thing, man. Like sell, and like we're talking about like T, you and I are in Brampton all the time, man. Like it's not a secret. You watch the games, the crowds have gotten better this year with the new management taking over in the front office. Who've done an excellent job at promoting, selling tickets. It's not, they're getting a little better, but it's not near where they want it to be yet. And that's going to take time. But having Scarborough in the building, the crowd the other night was great. When I'm thinking like, man,
both times.
Imagine there was just even a little more league-wise about like, hey, here's a clip from the last time they met, and Terquavian Smith got in Alex Serta's face on the sidelines, and then the teams went at it. That to me is like the best thing in the world, where I'm like, yeah, okay, now I want to go to this. Like there might be fireworks. Like I said to you the other night, man, something's going to happen in this game. Like something crazy might happen in this game. I say that every game, but something crazy might happen in this game. And that to me would say, yeah, get off your couch, go to this game, go watch this. Like I want to see that stuff. I don't want to see 8 guys getting ejected. But I want to see something like that. Like I want to see that pop. That like I want there to be a reason other than just basketball to go to these games. As crazy as that sounds.
Well, it's funny because I read 2 books recently, one on the ABA and one on the WHA, and it's like these things happen in those leagues, right? That become legends that lead to innovations in other leagues, whatever, or become bigger leagues themselves. And from a marketing standpoint, I always think that the stars have to be marketed. And how do we make those stars known, right? And it would be awesome if we saw more highlights just in general day to day. I think the league does a really good job on social media. They get a lot of social media hits, whatever. But like there should be an ad of like, hey, come out to the game tonight. Sean East against Miles Powell, right? 2 MVP candidates going head to head. Like show their faces on a billboard, on outside of the building, on Google ads, whatever. But like something that if like you're in that area, like, oh, who's this? And even if you don't know the team and you Google the name, oh, one was in the Rising Stars game for the NBA G League. The other played for the Philadelphia 76ers. Like, okay, like I'll go spend my $15 or whatever it is in Brampton to go watch this game. Like, this is like, that's where I think like it can get better is like identify the stars, market them. It's tough because it's always rolling over with the rosters. I get that, but we've had mainstays, and I think it's easier to tell who's going to stay and who's not, right? Like, the Khalil Ahmad's come back, the Teddy Allens come back, like who else? The Mitch Creeks, were back for a few years. Like this year was a little bit weird, but it's one of those things where it's like we kind of know who's been in the league for a while. Let's learn their stories and let's plaster it out there and let people know where they can find it. If it's not in person, like, hey, I am going to tune in on YouTube or tune in on CBC Gem to watch this game. Like I want to see what this is about. And like I always say, like the game's really good. Trust the game. People will fall in love with it, as we all did, and they will watch for the basketball. Like it's been around for 8 years, sorry. And we understand it's a Canadian league, and we're proud of that. And now let's showcase. Let's just let the game speak for itself at this point. This is what it is. Take it or leave it, right? CFL's been dealing with this forever against the NFL. CBL's not being compared to the NBA. I don't think people put those two together. So it's a matter of just let it play. Let them watch. This is your fix for summer basketball. That is legit, great competition, indoors, professional in your major Canadian markets. Like I think there's room. Like there's definitely a lot to work with.
This is a good one from Stat Guy Ty too. Maybe get some ad time on a sports network. I've seen those CEBL ads. Like D, you probably get those on Ontario television too. Like they're good. It's just like plaster it, hammer it. You have a 4-month window that this season runs, or whatever it may be, or however long it's going to be in the future. But like hammer it. It should be every single commercial. Like how many times do we need to see Charmin commercials that run every commercial break 3 times? Like show me CEBL. And I know it costs money, but that's the kind of thing. Like there were people shooting around at the game in Brampton before the game. Like we have different kids clubs or community crews or whatever it is. And I was talking to a guy probably maybe a month and a half ago, and he said, oh, we didn't even know this was a thing. And I'm like, well, it's crazy because they do such a good job of promoting from within, but it's just like you said, highways, sign on the side of the highway, downtown, a billboard, whatever that may cost. I'll pay out of pocket if that's the case. I don't care. Like there just needs to be that next step or that next level where it's like, yeah, you want to go to a Raptors game for $120 a ticket with your family. 4 you guys want to go, there's $480 in tickets, or do you want to go for $80 total to a game where you can watch guys that are in the NBA and the best talent in Canada and guys from around the world at the same time, where you're going to see stuff.
Okay.
Like fireworks, and that kind of stuff.
I'll bring this up, and because we know him well. I know him well, and you guys know of him, like his profile. But we always talk about Phoebus Delapaz and the cinematographer out here that does those game recaps. Like like I couldn't find a CBL one off like in short notice. He doesn't have them all on YouTube, but I just wanted to bring this one up. Like this was one for a university. Like I want to see more stuff like this. I don't know if it's gonna like play totally. Give me 1 second here. I'll take this banner off too. 1 second. But here, let me play it. I see if I don't know if there's sound or not. 1 sec. Oh, it might be loud. I feel like that's the minimum.
He's about to ask where that's playing in theaters.
Oh, yeah, hold on.
I'm
But
such a
that's
fan of his work. I
exactly-
mean, you don't have to
yeah.
sell me. Like, you need more guys like that to be able to.
Like
Top
but
up
we
of the
have
league.
these guys all across the league. Like that's my thing. Like the cinematic recaps of just like here's what happened last game. Here's what's going next game. Like it's and they get like
Joey,
if you go on his
dude.
Instagram, there's thousands of hits.
It's even little
There-
things like we don't have like written previews or proper recaps anymore. Like the preview thing is crazy to me that we don't have written preview for games. And like those things go such a long way for like the casual fan. Like my wife, for example, she would read those just to get the 401 on what's going to happen to a game that she's going to go attend, right? And so for someone that like doesn't watch basketball frequently, that's a great gateway into getting you into your first game to see what you're going to see. And it's just like we've eliminated even just little things like that helps our viewers or even new fans potentially.
100%.
If I'm coming off this game in Scarborough today, first phone call I'm making before we call about suspensions or this or that or fines, whatever. I'm calling that fellow right there and telling him to cut me a 30-second sting on the rivalry between these two teams, Brampton and Scarborough, and run it tomorrow. Like, dude, run it. Or how about Ottawa and Scarborough? Because who knows? Maybe they could meet in the next round. Like that should be ready based on the stuff that happened in their last two meetings, right? Bobby gets kicked out. They're going back and forth. Like I see that right there, dude. We're not even in the province that team plays in, DNI, and I would go watch that game. Get Creative Jackson and Ottawa on that, man. There's opportunity for this stuff that it's just like today in specific needs to be capitalized on, and that's the thing that bugs me the most.
Okay, is this sharing this one? Hold on.
You're showing us your text right now.
Here we go.
No, I'm kidding.
Can you imagine?
They would be more
Joey,
incriminating for
geez.
you than anybody else.
Yeah. Take your text
Okay,
off. Give
here's
me that
another one because this is actually a CBL one. So this is Phoebus De La Paz from his YouTube page. I didn't have time to make but he wouldn't care. I know him. So, but here, I'm just gonna fix it this way so we can see it full screen. Where is it? Okay, boom. This is from a couple years ago.
This is it, right here. We have not had the opportunity.
Oh, I love these,
to
man.
play
I've seen
hard
this.
together. We need a response from the last game. How we played, using our energy against ourselves. Now we go forward. Everything together. Put your heart into the game. Hustle. Make those multiple efforts. Make those extra passes. Get it done.
Forcier to pitch out. Mullins, a three. He is free to couple of triples here. 23 seconds to Vancouver with their biggest lead of the ball game.
Party time is a player's game. It's not about the set play you call. It's about the heart.
78-64 in favor of Vancouver.
I don't know if I've seen this one.
It's great.
Here come the Seabirds. Three ball got it. Right down the face. Winnipeg by 185-84.
Like this is a long one, almost done here, but
I love how we turned Brampton Target Score podcast into you got to see the Seabirds.
yeah, no kidding. But see, that's your point, baby. Hold on a second, let me just end this. That's the thing is. It happens in Winnipeg, but why can't we have this? These types of videographers? They might not be to Phoebus level, but they're out there and they're at the games and the teams are getting this footage. Like that's just like a great point because that's essentially what I'm trying to say is like if you had those guys, like those types of guys in all the leagues, like I would be interested if it came up, like even like pregame, like if that played before the broadcast, just like come up from Black and it's like, boom, boom, boom. Like, here's Scarborough and here's Brampton, and then go to like the quick cut of the thing or whatever. Like, this is turning into a freaking cinematic video tutorial. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, if we had those, it would make things a lot more, I think, enticing for the average fan. So when they get in a way that's engaging, that's fun, it shows, hey, like, this is what you're going to get when you come in, right? Like, when you come to the show, or when you watch this game, like, this is what tease it up. Like, this is the emotion behind it. This is what it feels like. Like, this is why you need to care. So yeah,
it's just tough. I think probably one of the ways to summarize it is, were today's events good for image? Probably not. I mean, you don't want anybody fighting anytime. Were today's events something that you could spin into something that creates more of an image for fans about the product? Absolutely. And that's the kind of thing where it's like, we just want to take that next step and get it to a point where it's like, yeah, this is the 30-second sting that Phoebe's cuts of like Scarborough and Brampton hating each other. And then you sit at home and you see it on Instagram and it's like, oh my God, like, I kind of want to watch that now. Like, I mean, there's enough hype around a lot of these teams anyway. It's just getting to that next level and capitalizing on opportunities like this, not talking about 8 ejections, but rather talking about like getting a sound clip of Frank being like, yeah, we're going for 19. We're going to get 20.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to like that stuff where it's like, man, I want, like, you create, like, and that's one of the things that's so good about Winnipeg and Vancouver too. Fans create relationships with these players, right? It's the same guys. Like, Teddy is a god in Winnipeg.
Yeah.
Teddy is a god. Frank has turned into a god in Scarborough. Miles Powell as well. Sean East slowly in Brampton. Like, but you need to have that kind of connection, and that's done through that kind of stuff. And it's hard to do that when you don't have those kind of pieces or pieces of the puzzle, at least in your hands, to kind of put it all together.
It would also be awesome, like, if there was like a game of the week that was national, and throughout the week there was the buildup with a video like that on CBC or TSN, wherever the game is going to be played, and have these like running as part of the commercial breaks, right? Of just like, doesn't have to be long, even if it's like a 15-second, just like, Brampton, Scarborough, Thursday at 5, or whatever the time's going to be. But like, it'd be nice if we had that kind of like the marketing using the stuff, because these guys are making these videos anyway. Like, might as well just use it in our favor.
Yeah. There's just such an opportunity with the thing that happened today that, again, as negative as people may look at it, and oh my gosh, I can't believe the rejections fights, and who knows what may come out of it. But I just think stuff like that needs to be capitalized on, and like, somebody needs to jump on it and be like, this is a point of exposure for the league.
This all started by saying, should there be a suspension? And it just flew into this whole wide range of like,
I don't know, man. You turn one stone over, and then it's like, there are a lot of other things underneath there that you find where you're like, I mean, again, it's back to the transparency thing. Everything needs to be open. And then by opening things like this, you allow for more opportunities like that. Like, I would love to be able to go on the broadcast and say, Mitch Creek is playing today. Mitch Creek is not playing today. Mitch Creek is in the country. Mitch Creek is not in the country. That's one of the latest ones that I think had a ton of people confused out west. Yeah. And then Mitch Creek shows up one game, drops 28, and is now playoff eligible. So it's like, well, why can't I sit here and be like, hey, Mitch might play next, like the game. Oh, because we're game planning. Like, I get that. I respect it. It's your game plan. But if I'm a viewer, I don't get that. I don't like that. I want to know where he is. I don't want this trickery. I want to know where he is. It's with the fines too. How much is Miles Powell going to get fined? How much is Roddy Peters going to get fined? Like, tell me this stuff.
I would say from the Mitch Creek one, that's where we got our first Wiggins grenade, the wig grenade. Forgot to pull the pin.
The wig bomb.
Because remember, he's like, oh, he's going to be like, he's there. I'm hearing it might happen. And then like, he didn't even show up. He wasn't even in the country at the time. So it's like, so we'll call that the wig grenade, because it didn't actually blow up. He forgot to pull the pin.
Played like an Irish fiddle. That's part of the problem though. I mean, like, but the thing is, once you do it once, or when it happens once, like if you said to me, there was a scuffle and Miles Powell got fined $250, I'll just say that's the number. Well, then next time that happens, I can assume that's going to be the penalty. I don't have to be left in the dark guessing like what's going to happen. This is one of those instances too. Like, you don't see these things that happen today happen often. Like, rarely do you see someone throw a punch in this league. And there were some legit punches tossed in that mix between the big fellas in there. Tegra, Roddy, Frank, Turk was in there. Miles, who else? I don't know. Anyway, whoever was on the court there, like, once you set that precedent of like, oh yeah, this is what happened, this is what it is, then no one's going to be asking questions. Nobody's going to be pressuring or wondering what the penalty is going to be next time. There's already an idea in the back of our minds of what we can expect. The more the more opportunity you leave for questions to build and uncertainty to be in the room, that's when people get mad, man. And I hate to say it, but it's so hard to connect to a product where I don't know what's going on. I want to know who's getting fired. I want to know who's getting fined. I want to know who's getting picked up. I want to know who's not playing and why they're not playing. And again, I get strategy behind it. Teams don't want to show their hand, but at the same time too, there's more to the league than just the teams within it. They're the fans and the people that care, that follow it, that want to be involved in it. And you need to open up that door. And this is, again, one of these situations where I would say it's without doubt that there needs to be some sort of capitalization on this little scuffle.
Yeah. And like, again, to be fair, like this is you guys coming from Brampton and saying it on both sides, right? Like, and it'd be the same thing here if this happened in Winnipeg. Like, and it was, you know, we talked about it on our podcast and the Winnipeg podcast too, when, you know, the whole thing with Kyle Julius came out. Like, let's get all of the answers, right? Like, everybody's going to have two sides of the story, but you need both sides and then come to the conclusion that fits the event. And I think it's going to be the same thing here, but it's just, you know, this year's just been a lot, and I feel like it's just been kind of like piling up. And I think after this year, that will be something that goes into, you know, into account in these winter meetings and setting up for next season of, hey man, like, okay, we got let things get ahead a little bit. It was hard to catch up. Like, what are going to be the processes now to get ahead of this early?
This is awful. Stock guy tie. Who's getting picked up and who's below me? You got to be careful on that last
that or the
word
bull
there,
money.
Stock guy tie. You got to be careful how you say that last. It's a PG podcast. Or it's a PG
Wow.
Get that one off quickly.
Friggin' D just throws out the poop word all the time.
Yeah, we need a bleep button. There's a way to get money to
Potty
start
mouthball
live
Sarah
videos
over
here.
there.
Start a swear jar for D and Savory for that matter too. What
Actually,
about
all I have is that'd be too hard to.
You're not timing that one up. There's zero chance of timing that one up. There you go.
Up.
Yeah. That's just brutal. I was waiting for Wiggins to pop in here, but I guess he's not. He must have something better to do today.
I think he's out hiking or something.
That doesn't sound like something better to do today, to be honest. Is that D's heart? That's D's heart during the brawl.
Yeah.
That's what the matcha's for, to slow it down, you know?
What do you think? This is kind of crossed my mind. This has crossed my mind a couple times. What do you think? There's John Ross going out there. You see that? Mike Gerling in the mix there. This I don't know who this assistant coach is, but he was fired up, man. I've seen him. I don't know his name.
We'll play some calming music under this so we don't get too intense.
Nice. Okay. I'll shut up. Let's listen to this.
Shebang.
Don't make me pull it up. Don't make me pull it up. What do you think Drake would tell his buddies about this? Like, do you think anybody even hears about this?
Yeah, dude. I think like it's like underground cool for him. I feel like 100%. Like, I think he like even his face. That was kind of the fun part when they panned to his face. He was just like,
and he's going like this. It looks like he's mid text and he just drops down. He's just like,
he's getting excited about it. Like, you know, again, it's not a thing that you want to endorse, but on the same token, like when these things happen, it generates excitement.
I just got a message from someone too on Instagram as I pull up my Instagram 2 minutes ago. This league, someone needs to do something about this great marketing opportunity.
Snaps in the
and
chat.
a video of what you're watching right here. I'm not going to tell you who that was, but it's somebody that watches the league and is pretty involved. So, I mean, again, I think a lot of people I could probably get another one if I open my phone here. Just get lucky with it. No, just kidding. Don't have anything else other than that one. Although one of my buddies just sent me a highlight here. Was there a brawl in this game? Ha 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 ha. See, this is what I'm talking about, man. Like, yeah, D, you're on, man. That's
It's like it's seriously. I type in Scarborough fight. It's all over Twitter, man. It's crazy.
It doesn't happen. That's what I'm saying. Like this, like people don't care about the league. It's just like, I don't know if it will happen, but these are the types of videos that like land out on like John Boy or whatever, right? Where he's going to break it down and be like, well, and then a fight breaks out and it takes him 25 minutes. But get this, then it takes place and only 6 guys come out to play the second half. Like, I think there's going to be those types of videos that are just going to pop up. And I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. Sometimes you can't take your yourself too seriously in that sense. Like, you know, let people have their fun and we take the serious side of it and make sure that the proper penalties are out.
There is enough here to make something happen. And maybe I'll cut a video tomorrow. Make it work. I think there just needs to be something about this. Like, I would love if these two teams were playing in the playoffs, the first round. Like, could you imagine that was happening? Here we go. Oren Weisfeld.
There we go.
Oren Weisfeld, who did games with us in Brampton, follows the Raptors. Canadian basketball, the golden generation, also has a book out today in the
And
final
the entire
game
thread is like the history of incidents in the CBL.
Does he have that up on here?
If you
Oh yeah.
go to the replies, you can read more about him and his thoughts.
Earlier in the season, June.
Kyle Juliet.
Yeah, like
so he's
this
highlighting
is-
everything.
This is the stuff, man, though. Like, this is the side of the game that you need to see. Like, not everything's perfect, right? I love it. I want to see the CEBL grow, but the league, yeah. See, like, that's that last tweet from 7 minutes ago. That's the kind of stuff that we've talked about, man. Like, stuff just gets swept under the rug, and it's tough to again, trust the league or to try to follow it if there's no transparency.
Yeah, and to highlight, like, there's a lot that's happened. Like, I'll give the stuff today. Like, that's the other thing too. Like, the stuff today, you got to give it some time for sure. And like, again, won't get into it because there's not a lot of details. But like, the whole thing with Teddy Allen, Winnipeg, is a police matter. So that is like that's what I'm talking about. Like, on the court, off the court. That is something that I understand. And the team made the statement, and I thought that was, get it out there. Just, it happened. It's one of the few times that I saw something and I hadn't heard of it beforehand, right? So, like, in terms of PR, like, get ahead of it before the rumors get out there. Like, address that something had happened. Yes, it's real, and we're working with it, and we don't have any more details because of that. But the stuff of the past, for sure. Like, we don't know who. Like, Miles Powell got suspended for a game, and I didn't know until he wasn't on, like, at the game, kind of thing, right? So, like, 100%. Like, I think this is one of those things now that there's more eyes on the game than ever before. I think the visibility has grown this year with it being on CBC and, no paywalls to watch this anymore. So I think, like, it comes with this demand for accountability. I think you're only going to see more of it. Like, even this year, I think this is the first year that the Winnipeg Free Press, which is one of the biggest newspapers in the country, had a full-time beat reporter for the Sea Bears. They're at every.
It's amazing.
Right? So the accountability has to be there. The news talk radio stations are at every game. Or like at least like once a week for practice. And when things like this happen, like, they have news teams out. Like, I know that, like, tonight on the news, and it already would have passed because it's 7:30 here. But like, there were stories about the Teddy Allen thing, right? Like, there's real media attention on this now. Now, again, that was off the court stuff, so it probably draws more news attention than normal. But like, Oren, to his credit, like, here's a freelance journalist who writes for some big publications, right? And, he's pointing it out that, we're right there. Like, this league is what it is in terms of talent, but it has to match up with everything else.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it shouldn't take, and that's the problem with it too, man. It's like, it shouldn't take something like that or like something like this to happen in order for there to be coverage about it. Like,
Yeah.
I said to you the other day, D, we have a ton of media people in Brampton, and like, people do an excellent job. Shout out Mackenzie Jerry, first and foremost, who does photos and video and all kinds of stuff. But it would be nice to have, like, Joey, we watch your Winnipeg stuff all the time too. And like, you have like Phoebes or whoever it may be doing all this like crazy stuff. It would be nice if there was just like a full table of these kind of people in like every position, right? Like, Oren covering the league, he's doing that by himself. Like, no one's paying him to do that. No one's sitting there saying to him, you need to cover a story on this. He is taking interest in things as a sports guy who he believes or an interest in things that he believes people would be interested in as basketball fans. This guy knows basketball, man. Like, it's not like he's some Joe from under the bridge that's coming up with some story because he's got nothing better to do. Like, he is champing at the bit to write about something that is of interest to him and is going to catch the attention of people. And like, Joey, you watch a ton of these leagues. Like, you watch like the Puerto Rican league, man. Like, there are leagues like what's the league overseas where they let off flares and fireworks and there's fights and all this stuff in the stands?
That's in like popular. You see that in Serbia, the Greece. Like, there's a lot of places
popular. Like, that's just stuff where I go on Twitter and I see someone letting off a firework in section 103 and everybody's running for their lives and there's a sick dunk on the court. Everybody goes home and they do it again the next day. And it's like everything's just through the roof. Like, it's Again, I'm not
Well,
saying
you look at
that
that
level, but
famous clip from Jokic where he's like, "I played in Serbia, brother," and when you see the Serbia clips, like I would love for you to watch a game, but even when you watch a game on TV, it doesn't give it any or doesn't do it justice because you can't see all the fans. Like it's usually when they do the cutaways or like the recaps or you see it on Instagram. But no, like 100%, there's this excitement to it. But going back to Oren, like like he wrote a book essentially like highlighting all of Canada basketball's history to that gold medal. And one of the biggest parts of that book at the end is Canada having its legitimate pro basketball league, right? That is like standing the test of time. Leagues that have come before it haven't lasted. And there's been mixed versions of it. And it very rarely was all Canada. It was usually like a couple of Canadian cities, like, running vertically, like, with the southern states where it'd be like, okay, like we got a team in Calgary, but they play teams in, I don't know, like Montana or whatever. So like, there's now you've earned this great reputation as like the elite league in Canada. Like better players are coming, less players are going to NBA G League Summer League. So like it's now getting the respect of, we talk about the Puerto Rican League. Like there's some guys that choose to go there. So you go out to these leagues in Puerto Rico and overseas. Like sure, maybe it's money, I don't know, but like part of it is too is like they really, really care. Like you watch all of these teams, like they've got fans, it's their city, they get behind them, they've got some, but they also have history. CBL's in the process of building its history. It's a very young league in the grand scheme of things, but now we're at the stage of the league where okay, like it's now legitimate. It's accepted, but there are other leagues that were much bigger that got to this point and then it went one way or the other, right? And this is where you got to learn from history, figure out the proper practices, get the proper people in place to, deliver these messages, and then, take care of things. There's no league in the world that doesn't deal with crisis. None. Like Malice of the Palace is like almost embraced by the NBA now because look at all the documentaries that came out of it, right? And then the city, the stories of the city and the fans and the people behind it, what led up to it. Like there's an interest in this kind of stuff. You don't want it to happen all the time. Otherwise it is a joke, but it happened one time. Like I don't want to overreact to this. We kind of saw it bubbling over and that might be a sign too. Hey, when these things are happening and bubbling over, how do we get in the way of letting or keep it from boiling over, I guess?
D, you've been quiet. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this. You haven't said anything. I'm like wondering if you're about to like go off on a soliloquy here or what you're.
No, it's just for me the conversation's kind of just completely gone off a tangent. So it's just I don't have much to add to this. I obviously agree with you guys that there we go. That's all.
Take it away, D.
Put us to sleep, D. Put us to sleep, man. Miles Powell throws a ball.
What people really want to know are the benefits of matcha. It has high oxidants, complex, whole leaf nutrition,
Wait,
and heart.
Start again.
No. Okay.
Start again. Start your matcha thing again. Ready?
No, you're playing shebang. I'm out of here. I'm done.
No, but let's I'd like to bring it all back here. And this is our buddy Joe from Leicester, UK. Thanks for joining in, Joe. And he knows because man, he's been all over he's been basketball over the world, including here at the CEBL. But it's true. Like it's just, but there's been history there. There's a lot of these are tied with clubs beyond just like teams. Like there's actually like sporting clubs and they have soccer teams and all this other stuff. But this is going to be an interesting year in terms of where the evolution is going to be from here. And but again, now to bring it right back, all I want to know is what's going to happen Thursday. Like we've gone on a long tangent. You're right, D. But at the end of the day, like that's all for another day. But literally right now, there's no we've been doing this all year. This is playoffs. This means a lot. Literally everything. Because it's win or go home. So I think you have to get ahead on this and say who exactly is suspended, whether or not, again, I'm not as up on like the size of the fine, but I need to know that there's a penalty there. And yeah, if there's no suspension, then people will probably want to know, well, how much was it, right? Like, but anyway, but I do that you have to let people know, in my opinion, for a playoff game, you can't sweep it under the rug. Like you gotta come out and say like, this is what happened. They got suspended for this reason, that reason. We have no more comment even like at that point, whatever. At least you got an answer, whether you like it or not, that's up to you. But again, it'll be interesting to see what the decision is that comes down to, because it's going to have a massive swing on how those games play out.
Pro League needs to treat it like a pro situation.
Yes, I thought that was a comment that you were reading, but you came up with that yourself. That's awesome.
I did. I think I said it wrong anyway, too. I was waiting for D to be like, you said that backwards.
I was going to say, if there's anything that our viewers should take away from this conversation is on Thursday, the Scarborough Niagara game has been compromised, so you shouldn't be tuning into that game. You should be tuning into the other one because you got great guys on the call, and that's going to be the more entertaining game. And I'm sorry to the folks at the league because I'm not helping you with your national game, but I'm just telling it like it is.
Yeah. and that will be, I think today I saw someone say, that guy Ty, comment of the night, tune into the 2 games not on TSN. I quickly get that off there before someone distances. But that will be a crazy good game. That's going to be one. Like I think someone said today, it might have been S in our chat that said the last, or maybe it was you, D, maybe you chimed in. The last home game in the playoffs that the Honey Badgers had was 2021, I think. And they haven't had one since moving to Brampton, which is awesome. And that's another huge piece to the puzzle here too. Like they're knocking off things like double digit win season, building the fan base, getting more star players. Now you get to the point where you make the playoffs for the first time in 2 years or since 2023. Then now you host a home playoff game. Like they're tacking off, or they're checking off things that you and I probably the last couple of years, D, thought would never happen in our time in this league, which is hopefully forever, respectfully, after the last hour and a half of conversation. Sorry, everybody, but in our opinions, specifically Joey in Winnipeg, not Denung Balsera and Mapanomi in Ontario. Joey hired someone to put a gun to my head for the past 2 hours. Across the room, I just can't turn my computer. You're good to go, Joey said. But the thing being, there are so many positive things now with this Brampton team that we can look forward to that obviously you want to win, but if they get bounced in the first round, I'm kind of in that weird spot where it's like the Maple Leafs every year where they make the playoffs and they're like, just one step further and we're good with it. Obviously they all want to win, but at least being in this moment now, getting a chance to do a playoff game with you and Deshaun Stevens, which will be on CBC Gem, CEBL Plus, and what's the last one?
YouTube.
CBC Gem, YouTube. Always probably makes sense that I should know what we're on right now.
I feel like YouTube's probably the more important one because it's easiest for all the young ones to figure out.
But the fact that we get to do that is like another box that we get to check off at this franchise. That's really exciting. And then Joey, you're going to be doing some games too, which is also exciting. But another step in the right direction.
You say games plural because you're indicating they're going to move on.
I found an app that allows me to bet on CEBLD. Just kidding. I don't. I made that joke earlier this year. I do not have an app.
I noticed you said we're excited to do a game, and then you said you're really excited to do a couple of games, Joey.
All three of us are collectively excited to do the game that we have assigned right now. The game. Joey's not even smiling right now because he has games. Anyway. Yeah. Hey,
it's all good. We know.
But that'll be a good game. Super excited with Ottawa coming in, trying to play spoiler, and Brampton with hopefully a full roster. And you get, again, another treat of Sean East and Trent Flowers, which we saw the other day combined for 56, I think. Which is going to be crazy fun to watch too. And in a game that actually really, every game matters, but in a game that actually really matters now. Yeah, was that against Montreal?
Yeah.
Oh no, Scarborough, they dropped 56. I think it was 30 and 26. Wasn't
combined?
It? Yeah. Or no, Sean had 20 maybe? Maybe Sean had 20.
Oh yeah, you're right, I guess. Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. Trent had 30, I believe.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
If I do recall. Yeah, heck yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we are. What time is your game at, Joey?
7:30. I know because Stat Guy Ty was probably already in the midst of typing it as soon as you said that, because I said 7 in our post game last game and he was on top of it. 7:30 for us. It actually might have to be like a super post game. I was thinking about that because I don't know how many it's just one channel, right? So I think we might actually have to do like you guys might have to start it and we might have to come in and join and then take over.
Yeah, because we're at 7 o'clock Eastern time, and then you're at 8:30 Eastern time. So we've got an hour and a half gap between. And then Niagara and Scarborough. I don't know if anybody's watching that game, right?
I say it.
I'll be watching it. Don't you worry. Right, Jimmy slats.
Cannonball Chris, Jimmy Slats, Cousin Tay, Seaball Sarah.
Seaball Sarah is my new favorite one. Cannonball Chris is at 10 o'clock Eastern, and that's the so what's the rundown here? So just to recap,
We're
Joey,
at 7. Oh, sorry.
Okay, yeah. So
Is that
it's
what you're asking?
the game in Scarborough is nationally
7:30.
televised. The game in Vancouver is nationally televised. The games in Winnipeg and Brampton are on linear, so YouTube, CBC Gem, and CBL Plus.
Correct.
Right, and then Wiggins will be on the call in Vancouver doing sideline.
Yeah, and you guys have your live show tomorrow at 2:45 your time?
Yes, we'll have Elias
2:30.
Elzine. Well, sorry, yeah, we'll start
It's Elzine,
2:30ish.
Elias Elzine.
Elias Elzine. What did I say? Zine?
Yeah.
Sheen?
Play-by-play of the
Elzine.
Ottawa Blackjacks. That would be a good one. You guys have a great show for that one now because
We got Bobby questions going. I'm gonna grill him on Bobby. I want to know what happened there. If that fired up the team. I got Viz cut already. A Bobby celebrated, and there's gonna be a clip posted. Tell you that right now for free. That's the only thing I want to know. But I don't care about Ottawa, their playoffs, anything. I just want to know what happened with Bobby and if he's alive and well right now. In
wasn't
the
he at a
community,
game? I
of
thought
Ottawa
someone
Black.
shared something of him being at a game sitting courtside.
I would give him a
Maybe it
raise,
wasn't-
I
man.
think that's an old photo. That was an old photo, and
Ah.
he was doing his thing. He was just working, and I think he was sitting next to a fan. That wasn't.
Do you
Is
know
he, like,
some from
big
his
on
old
Insta?
in-game host circles?
Yeah, exactly.
They used to have in-game host offs.
I know a live
You-
segment when I see one.
Do you follow him, D?
Yeah, I do. I've
Is he
spoken
Bobby
to.
Brugel?
Yeah. When I did a national game. I've done 2 of them in Ottawa, and I've talked to him both times. Great guy. He's very, very passionate. As you can tell.
I was waiting for him to post something big about maybe being back. I hope he's. I hope he's,
But there's no more Ottawa home games, right? So he's done.
Yeah, I guess so. How do we think Ottawa's going to travel on Thursday to Brampton?
not
You think
gonna
there's gonna be any
travel.
fans? I
Train.
think so.
Everybody gets on one big Via Rail train. They're going to bring a fan train instead of a fan wagon.
That's the one thing I said to D2 earlier, Joe. He's like, like the Niagara matchup would have been great for. It's good for either Scarborough or Brampton. I mean, probably specifically more Brampton because we get less fans than an average home game for the home team. Scarborough just fills their arena no matter what kind of thing. But in Brampton, it would have been good to have Niagara people because in the past we've seen that. Like Niagara fans during regular season travel really well. It's about an hour and 15 minutes to the CAA Center from the Meridian Center in St. Catharines, hour and a half maybe.
Well, that's the crazy thing, though, is you guys have that luxury. Like out west, it's wild. Like we're actually having this conversation of like, how is the travel going to work out? Because they play Thursday night, whatever, and then for the Winnipeg Saskatoon game, it finishes first, and then they've got to wait until the late game in Vancouver ends to figure out where they're going, or if they're going. Because if Edmonton beats Vancouver, then Winnipeg stays home. But if Vancouver wins, whoever doesn't matter who wins the Winnipeg game, they got to fly out to Vancouver. Or crazier, if Edmonton wins, they got to go to Saskatoon. And if like the Mamba and Edmonton won, and like those are all really intense flights. Like at least in Ontario, you get the luxury of like buses or whatever. Like you could drive there, but like man, that's going to be such an advantage this year for the team, especially if there's no travel. Like I think the only way it's even is if Edmonton and Saskatoon won because they would both have to travel to Saskatoon. But like it's such an advantage for either Vancouver or Winnipeg if they have to stay home after that game, like, and just get into their routine for the next day while the other people try to figure out. Thank goodness the WestJet strike's over.
What about the finals format? D, you were talking about this the other day too, I think, right? Like it's kind of different. Like I think game 1 is at the lower seeds.
It's on the
Gym
it's
on a
It's on the
Wednesday or
road,
something?
and then they play back-to-back home games for games 3 and 4.
It's like Wednesday, then Saturday, Sunday,
Correct.
which seems a little bit odd. 2 days between games is a little interesting, and then forcing them to play 2 games within basically 2 tip-offs within 24 hours. I imagine that's what the schedule is also a little. Do we know if those are on TSN or CBC?
All of them. Like after the quarterfinals, like the conference semifinals. That guy Ty called me out and it got in my head. The conference semifinals. That's the only one where it's like kind of wonky with like some games are linear on TV, other ones aren't. But after that, I believe they are all on TSN and CBC from right through to the finals on both channels.
D, how you feeling right here? You can trade your Teddy jersey in for a Seaball Sarah jersey. I offered that to Stack Guy Ty. Trade. I thought CS to give away his
Oh,
jerseys
sorry,
for free.
I didn't mean to click that. Which one is it?
I knew this was going to happen.
There it is.
Because nobody wants them. Nobody wants these jersey. All right, get that back up.
So this one, where's the bracket? I forgot to download it. Stack Guy. He literally built me a bracket that is I have to download to put it on here of how it all works with all the TVs. It's really good. You know what? I'll see if I can pull it up while we wrap up here. Hold on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the bracket itself, though, for playoffs, I love seeing this. That's a good thing that CEBL has done. If you go to the CEBL page and then go to play, or if you just Google CEBL playoff bracket and then go to playoffs, it brings up the bracket right away, which is awesome. So they've done a good job with that. I love that. It looks really
I
nice,
love the finals logo. Like that has a little bit of an influence on it.
Dude, it looks really good. That little cursive with finals, it looks a lot cleaner.
Okay,
Looks a lot cleaner than it did before. But so these games will be on the 6th. So you'll have the 4 games on the 6th, which are single elimination. And then on the 8th, you'll have the Western and Eastern Conference final. Those are also single elimination. And then the finals is best of 3 series, 12th, 15th, and 16th of August.
There
so they've
you
got that pretty well. Oh, look at that.
We're going to see a Stat Guy tie. Okay, I'm wrapping up already.
2 hours in.
But this will all set it up here.
That's nice, Stat Guy tie.
The reason why
Good job by
is
you, buddy.
it says actually because I kept referring to it as a play-in game because last year we had the play-in game before the conference quarterfinals, which led to the conference semifinals and championship weekend. So they've shortened the playoffs, so there's no play-in game anymore. So that's why he says actually because this is how it looks, not as I say it looks. Where's Matt going? Anytime he's gone.
She'd activate a light.
Oh, there he is. But yeah,
you can even see that.
So there's the.
Like I never left. The playing game was a conference quarterfinal, Jimmy.
We were calling it a play-in game.
All right, let's do this. Let's make our predictions here. Let's go series by series quickly. Make our predictions. We'll start in the West. Vancouver and Edmonton. Who do you think's going to win that?
Vancouver.
D?
Yeah, Van. Yeah, Van, no doubt.
Van? Okay, we got a Vancouver sweep there. Winnipeg, Saskatoon.
Winnipeg.
Mamba! No kidding. It's Winnipeg.
Really? Okay, this depends if Teddy plays.
I still think that Winnipeg's the better team.
Really? Okay. Yeah. All right. I'll play devil's advocate and take Saskatoon on this because I think Saskatoon is one of those. I think Saskatoon's like the Ottawa of the West right now. I think they're freakishly athletic and they can.
Oh wow! Spoiler alert!
They can probably
on
upset a
Brampton,
team.
Ottawa pick.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I'm. It's got to be honest here, D. I just asked for transparency from the league, and just kidding. I'm taking Winnipeg. Let's go over to the East. Scarborough and Niagara. Who do you guys take?
It's tough not knowing.
We just had the same reaction.
We got to do this blindly. Let's assume that there are full rosters for this.
Oh, Scarborough.
Okay.
Full roster? No doubt.
Full roster, Scarborough.
Actually, should we assume there is not a full roster? Let's assume there's no full roster. Actually,
well, Joey
if it's no full
roster, suspensions.
I'm going Niagara, but
okay. So no full roster Niagara, full roster Scarborough.
Yeah.
And then do you doing the same? Yeah. Okay, I'll do the same as well. Brampton, Ottawa.
Brampton.
Man.
This is, you know what? I gotta say, for me, it's more of a prideful pick because I've been harping on you two for jumping on the Ottawa bandwagon all year. So I gotta stick to my guns at this point.
Yeah. Let's go to the next round. Western final, Vancouver and Winnipeg. Who do we think's gonna win that?
Vancouver.
It's all right, Joey. You can go against your team. I just said skip pick on my side of things, so you can.
What's the point of making these picks then?
I am picking.
Why are we doing this exercise if we're just gonna bail on each round?
I'm picking Ottawa. I said I'm picking Ottawa.
Yeah, I have to go Vancouver just based on the last 2 games they played against Winnipeg. They're very recent and they were very dominant. The reason why I'm sighing is because, like I've said, that Winnipeg is not as bad as they were last night. I think everything with the travel really did have an extra effect on it. But if they have to travel to Vancouver that tight again, if there's any other, Vancouver. But I wouldn't be shocked if Winnipeg won. But I think I would have to go Vancouver based on just the recent games.
I've said this to Matt. Having a guy like Mitch Creek out there, it's like having a head coach on the floor. And then Tyree Samuel didn't even play that game either, right? So between those two, and I mean what we're seeing from Shamar as well, just the team. Like again, this is not to knock on Winnipeg, right? Like Xavier Moon's been an absolute stud since he's come back too. He's actually surprised me how good he's been. Coming off the injury and everything. Because I think if you asked me this question 2 weeks ago, I probably would have said Winnipeg, but
same.
Something about that Vancouver team's scary, man.
And unlike my MVP picks and all those things, like recency bias plays a factor in this one for sure. But if Winnipeg, like I think said the last time, and it went way against me, but that one will be a tight one, I think.
Yeah, that'd be a tricky one. Man, and that would be in Vancouver, right? Obviously, we just said.
Yeah. And it's a road game. Like Winnipeg hasn't been as good on the road.
Yeah, I'd probably take Vancouver. I mean, as much as I like, it just gets to that point where there are guys that I want to win, like individually, and Teddy is one of those guys. I just like watching Teddy so much. Like Teddy has provided so many cool moments where it's like, man, I want Teddy to like get a ring.
Yeah.
Nothing against Vancouver. But
Vancouver is also this is the last part of their window under the Kyle Julius built team. I think that's another thing.
Absolutely, yeah. So we're all taking. So who'd you say, Joey? You said
I said Van.
I said Van. So we'll go Van in the finals, and then who did you guys say? You guys said Scarborough over Niagara.
I had because we were going full rosters. Yeah,
full rosters. Okay. Full roster Scarborough against, we said Brampton or Ottawa?
I had Ottawa.
You two said Ottawa, and I said Brampton. And it'd be Scarborough if it's full rosters for me.
Ottawa for me.
Okay, so you take Ottawa over Scarborough. Yeah, okay. As much as I have been preaching about that, I think if you have Scarborough full roster and everybody's tamed and under control, Scarborough. So it would set up Scarborough and Vancouver for D&I, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's start there. Who do you want, Scarborough or Vancouver?
Who do I want or who I think's going to win? Two different questions.
That's okay. Answer both of those then. Answer both of those. Starting with who do you think
I plead the fifth.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, Fauci.
Let's get political.
I'm a big Aaron Rodgers guy, you know? Ooh, that's so tough. Is Scarborough would have home court advantage, correct?
Yep. Scarborough has all the way through if they make the finals. As far as they go. I think it's hard to beat Scarborough at home. I think it's very hard to beat Scarborough at home.
Oh, man, that's actually really tough.
But
I'm going to go Van.
Van?
Yep.
And that's who you think is going to win?
Yeah, who I think is going to win.
And who do you want to win?
I'm not answering that question. I'm legit pleading the fifth.
Okay,
that stays between
That's enough
us.
of an answer for us. And who are you taking, Joey? You got...
I got Ottawa, Vancouver.
Who'd you take? You took Vancouver and Ottawa?
Yeah,
he has Javonte Smart raising the trophy.
I've got Vancouver in 3.
You okay there, Matt?
Yeah.
How did I lose? I lost connection here. Somehow I lost connection to you guys. Most important picks of the day.
Yeah, I said Vancouver in 3.
Oh my goodness. Is this actually happening? Come on, Bonomi.
Yeah. No, don't worry. We have all the time in the world.
It's not like we're live right now. The folks are
don't worry about
listening
it.
and waiting.
Yeah, no, all good. Just losing viewers by the second. It's all good.
Where do we pivot from here, Joey? You and I, right here.
I don't know, our families.
What is going on?
Who's your pick to win MVP? Let's no, I'm kidding.
Okay, here's the final seeding order. So it's Scarborough, Vancouver, Winnipeg, Saskatoon, Brampton, Ottawa, Niagara, Edmonton.
So Brampton's best
Thank God.
chance of hosting or having home court advantages against Saskatoon.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Or Edmonton, not Saskatoon.
Yeah, Edmonton wins. Yeah, that's why there's like a slim chance that Saskatoon hosts a game.
Right.
Interesting. Okay, yeah. So we all said, so Joey, you have crowned as your champion
Vancouver.
Vancouver. D, you have crowned as your champion Vancouver.
No, he had Scarborough. Oh, you had Vancouver?
Or Scarborough?
Yeah, I've been.
Okay.
I will also take Vancouver. And I think
Well,
Wiggins
here it
thought
is.
we were trolling him. I think he thought I was trolling when I said this 2 weeks ago or whatever it was. Like massive troll job that I'm saying Vancouver's going to win. Nice.
Vancouver. There.
Vancouver.
We should have.
Nice. Okay.
All right. I'm going to pull this
Not
down
bad.
because we got to wrap this up, man. It's
We
getting
do.
late.
Yeah.
It's like D's
Yeah,
falling asleep
yeah.
by the second. Wrap
I'm
this up,
dying
Matt.
right
Take us
now.
home.
Pitch black outside.
It's past my bedtime here on the East Coast.
Don't forget to tune in to August 6th games. Once again, Joey Slattery will be on the call for the Winnipeg game. That is against the Saskatoon Mamba, Canada Life Center. We will have the call, Deshaun Stevens and I on the CAA Center. That is in Brampton. That's the Honey Badgers hosting the Blackjacks. And this is the first round of the playoffs. You can also check out the Shooting Stars and River Lions. And then the Bandits and Stingers, which is Chris Wiggins and Andrew Savory. There's a ton of CBL content going on August 6th. You can follow and check out all that on CBL Plus, CBC Gem, and YouTube. And then if you want to go back, you can also check out the games after on demand on those resources. Thanks to Stat Guy Ty for hanging out here. And
Shut up.
you know,
thanks,
thanks
Stat
to
Guy Ty.
everybody in
real
the chat
MVP.
too, hanging out.
Yeah, chat was
Sweet
great,
comments in
guys.
here. A lot of
Cam,
fun.
Stack Guy Ty, Berlowen.
Yeah. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Thank you, D. Thank you, Joey. As always, a pleasure. And thanks to the CEBL for giving us the opportunity to talk about something.
Thank you.